Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome one, welcome all to something truly exciting. Like, you don't understand how excited I am for this. So, originally tonight was supposed to just be the start of Amari until we finished Amari kind of thing, and then we'd jump straight into Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. But a few weeks ago, something very exciting, something very interesting, something very awesome happened, and it changed my plans for my stream for a little bit. I received an email from a little indie Chinese company. Not Hoyoverse. God, I wish it was Hoyoverse. Hello. No, actually, I kind of don't wish Hoyoverse would, introduce, recognize me. I do not feel like streaming any of their games right now because I don't like Honkai. The Genshin community terrifies me, and I have not tried Sunless Sub-Zero yet. But anyways, it's a different Chinese company. They're indie. They're like really indie. So much so that, God, I was gonna get to the giveaway shortly because it's a lot to explain. I don't even think that info does it justice. Because, yes, it is a lot to explain. I was just getting to the part. No, it's fine. I put it in the stream title. It's fine. I get it. You're fine. You're good. You're fine. I was just explaining the story, but then I got sidetracked because I mentioned Hoyoverse. Anyways. So yeah, a little Chinese company. I'm not gonna say their name because I'm going to butcher it because I cannot read Chinese. I can't read Japanese either. I can't read Chinese. Can't read Japanese. Can't read anything other than English. Okay, that's a lie. I can read a little German. But like very little German. But whatever, this doesn't matter. So yeah, they gave me a total of 3 stream keys for their game, Trials of Innocence. It's inspired by Ace Attorney, so that's what really piqued my interest. Cause if you're new to this, if you're new to my streams, I'm a big Ace Attorney dork. I love Ace Attorney. Like, saying I am a huge fan is kind of an understatement. I have made it I have made it kind of my personality. So anyways, like I said, they gave me 3 stream keys, and I'm just like, okay, so I'll use one, obviously, because if they're gonna say, here's some stream keys, please promote our game, I'm gonna use one of them for myself, obviously. But that means I have 2. I don't know what to do with. Now, let's get into the giveaway stuff. So I have 2 stream keys. How's this gonna work? I'm just like, I could have given them to friends. Right. But I was just like, that's not as fun. When I could just be like, I could give them to my community. I mean, my friends could totally come in, pop in, and join the giveaway. So, is the giveaway just for tonight? No, absolutely not. That wouldn't be fun, or I would say not fair. It would not for me, it just doesn't feel fun. The giveaway will be going on throughout the entire time I'm playing the game. Why? Because that's what I felt like. And because some people are obviously people who are going to enter the video may not pop in for just one stream. Because let me backtrack on that a bit. And then they're not going to see the whole game. And then they can experience it for themselves. Or they know an Ace Attorney fan who would love to see an Ace Attorney inspired game. And then they could give it to a friend. You know? So yes, this is simply going to work as in you can enter !ticket 1 because I don't know how to just do a normal ticket on Stream Elements. But you can do ticket 1 to have one entry for a stream, for this stream. You can enter every stream, not just the streams for Trials of Innocence, but any stream. Like if you come back tomorrow for the start of Too Many Types, you could put another ticket in. You just are limited to one ticket per stream. So then, at the end of every stream, I will write down everyone's names, every entry into a hat. Okay, now I'll write it down all on a piece of paper. It'll probably be multiple pieces of paper, maybe, depending on how many. I think so. Let me check. I thought I had something. I thought I had something going for. Yep, you're in. And then, like I said, then at the end of every stream, I'll write down everybody's names onto a piece of paper. And then before the finale of the streams, the finale stream, I will cut up everybody's names and put them into a hat. It's gonna be a really nice hat. It's the hat I got from for Extra Life last year, and you might be wondering, Nitro, how did you get a hat? Well, it was one of my local incentives for raising X amount of money. But that was a story to get there. And I don't feel I'll dive into that story later, but because I have a lot to explain right now. So then, like I said, at the end of once we finish the game, I'll put everybody's names into a hat, and I'll pick 2 because I have 2 stream keys to give. And then obviously what it will be is even if the person's not there, I can just be like, here. And I can just whisper them on Twitch. Make sure your whispers are open. Because I'm not going to try to get anybody's discords for this, because this is not necessary. And then I'll just whisper you being like, hey, you want one of the stream keys for Trials of Innocence? Here it is. Have fun. And that's probably about what the message is going to be. Because, I mean, there's no need for any other parts of said message. So like I said, this game is completely new to me. I have heard nobody talk about this before. My introduction to knowing what this game even was is simply the email that I received for the 3 stream keys. And also, if anybody from the dev team is watching, hi! Thanks for the stream keys. Anyways, I think I should just get started. I yapped enough about the giveaway. I think so. So new game. Oh, yeah, by the way, for those who do win the giveaway, or those who do tend to play this game, note, the game defaults to being in Chinese. I launched it. Hold on, 1 sec. The game defaults to being in the Chinese. So if you don't understand Chinese, it's actually I figured it out, even though I know no Chinese whatsoever. But then again, if I didn't understand how to do it, I may have a little way of I can get the translations easily, because if you don't know, one of my moderators' wife is Chinese. So, anyways, but yeah, do note that when you first open the game for the first time, the default set, everything will be in Chinese. Do not panic. Use your logic and reasoning to put it in English if you do not understand Chinese. And just like I said, keep in mind, this is a Chinese game from a Chinese company. The English may not be perfect. Okay? I think this is like their first game ever too. So let's be nice to them and enjoy a game. All right? Stay away from me! What? Deathbound Spectre. August 9th. Oh, actually, it is. Wow. Oh. Hold on. Okay. Is this the court? The trial's about to start and you're supposed to rest for a bit. Why are you suddenly screaming? Chief, I took this case in a rush and spent the whole night reviewing the files. Plus, it happened in a murder house. I just couldn't help but having nightmares as soon as I closed my eyes. Yes, the classic. I'm a new defense attorney, and I got no sleep the night before this trial. The classic. Well. Are you sure you're okay? Today is your first time appearing in court as a lawyer. No problem, I suppose. I'm speechless. Okay, let's end this chaotic opening. Anyways, my name is Luna Ray, a newly graduated lawyer who just returned from studying abroad. This person who appears rough and unreliable is actually much more capable than me. This is Charlie Drake, the chief of Drake and Thomas Co. Well, as my senior boss. Today marks the first trial of my career as a lawyer. But the situation right now is a bit tricky for a rookie. As for why, that's a long story. Chief? I don't think I can handle this by myself. Hey, calm down. I've registered as an assistant to accompany you in court. The most important thing right now is to communicate with your client. After all, this is a murder case. But you only received the case last night and rushed to court this morning. There must be many details you have yet to confirm. Yes, like who is my client? Why are they a suspect for murder? What the fuck happened during the murder? And I'm running out of typical questions. What does the judge look like? I'm kidding. No. And who is the prosecutor? Yeah, there we go. That's a good question. Who's the prosecutor? Are we gonna have to deal with some rookie killer? What's his name? By the way, chat, I do remember his name. It's Mr. Payne. I was just making a joke. Because like I said, you guys should know, I'm a huge Ace Attorney dweeb. I bring up Ace Attorney even when we're not playing something remotely close to Ace Attorney. And that's the reason, and that's also the reason why we have a little thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Aha! Our lawyer license. That will take our position of attorney. That will take our position of our attorney's badge in the take that! Redeem. Because, of course. Pine Camel. That's the victim's name. We should have asked for the witness's name. Interesting. Witness. Palm Camel, a frail and timid young man said to be the live streamer of the Chandler Cave and Spook Shack, discovered dead in a sinister manner within a murder house. Plum Swift, the best-selling detective and novelist and senior in my college, frequently involved in incidents due to suspicious material collecting habits. I'm assuming this is our client here. Yes, this defense is completely unplanned, but I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. All right, let's meet your client first. If I remember correctly, she's your senior from college, right? That's right, it's me, Plum! Wow, Luna! So this is the courtroom? It's not as gloomy as I imagined. It's my first time being a defendant, and even there's even a surf with the sun on. I thought to be shackled in a prison van. Careful on sitting on sofas. If we remember anything from Justice for All. I'm sorry. I should not keep bringing up Ace Attorney. I know this game is inspired by Ace Attorney, but shush. Oh, there's pellets skirting everywhere! Wow, how exciting! Yeah. Can I say this music is great? Also, not the typical reaction you get when you're a defendant in lawyering systems and stuff. Yeah. That excited person, your client. If anyone could act like this after being brought into this court as a defendant, it would definitely be her. This seemingly unnervous person is my senior from college, Plum Swift. After graduation, she worked at a law office only for a short time before transitioning to become a detective novelist. Although it's hard to believe, her works are said to be quite popular. Just before getting off of work last night, I received a call from her saying that she's been arrested on the suspicion of murder. Due to the urgency, she had no choice but to entrust me, the lawyer with whom she has the closest relationship. She may be unreliable, but I know she wouldn't go as far as committing murder. Well, obviously the best way to make a detective novel is to make the crime yourself, right? That's how it works, right? Understandable, right, chat? Today I have to find the truth and help her clear her name. No time for small talk. Plum, quick, tell me more details about the case. Huh? I told you everything in the meeting room yesterday. Why ask again? Because I've forgotten. We barely had a chance to talk before the detention center closed. You only showed me some video screenshots. Wow, isn't that super exciting? Wasn't that super exciting? Yes, if I haven't seen those things, I wouldn't have that nightmare just now. I've already collected those screenshots as evidence. Let's focus on the case now. After all, during our meeting yesterday, all I remember is that shocking line, and I was dressed as an evil god and got arrested. You didn't give me anything else useful. Well, even when it comes to the case, I'm currently planning a new detective novel. Like I said, easiest way to make a detective novel is to commit the crime yourself. At least having it be, real. It's normal to dress a bit weird for collecting materials, isn't it? But who knows, someone would die as soon as I arrived, making it perfectly normal for me to be arrested as a suspect, right? I don't think either of them is normal. Is this person really your senior? She doesn't seem like someone who studied law at all. The two sisters are a reflection in a mirror. Indistinguishable for I do words good. We have a whole command for it. It's called word. They appear like shadows in the night, ready to push the incoming detective into an endless abyss. Plum, your novel is becoming more and more fantastical. Is this still a detective story? Wow, doesn't it resemble the exploring science show we used to watch together? I think I've ever heard of a similar case. Are you really supporting such an outrageous content? Yes, because that's what this is for. Content, baby. Wait, it's all for content, baby. It's okay, Luna. I've already gathered some information before you arrived. It said that the prosecutor you're facing today just got their license half a month ago. Feeling a bit easier now? So we are not going to have to deal with a Winston pain. Well, I heard about that too. That's good news for you. Huh? So today's trial is the showdown between rookies? That gives me a bit of confidence. Yep, that's the spirit. Look, I even arranged for some reporters to cover your debut. What? No wonder there's so many people outside with cameras. So you're the one who called them here, Plum? If I lose, my career will hit rock bottom right after debut. Don't worry, this case should be a breeze for you. After all, I'm innocent. I just pushed the victim off and he happened to die. Yes, the utmost confidence from you. I'm getting... Like I said, the easiest way to get a true crime out of your detective novels is to create the crime yourself. What? You're the thing in that video that pushed the victim down? The destined showdown is about to begin. As the rookie lawyer put against the prosecutor in a thrilling courtroom clash. Wow, that's the line. Wait a minute. What did you just say? You didn't mention that all yesterday. Huh? I didn't? Maybe I forgot. But the court is about to begin in 1 minute. Defense and defendant, please proceed to the courtroom. Oh no, we have no time left. Wow. Anyways, I definitely didn't do it. So relax. Good luck. I'm going in now. Well, what a unique client. You're telling me, sir. And time's almost up. Take the few pieces of evidence we have and get ready. Okay. Plum's attitude's always different from ordinary people. I only rely on a few items on hand, just in case. I can browse through the exhibit tab. Oh, I can just hit tab. See, what's interesting to me is that there's this red spot here. I don't know if it's a logo. That's a logo. A logo, or if that's blood. You know. But here's the thing. Where is he in this instance? Yeah, but Plum said she's the octopus. Or is it the logo on his shoe there? Or sock? Whatever it is. No, he's kind of cute. Anyways, I think we should just, at this point, it's all or nothing. Come on, for me and for Plum. It contains detailed records of information. You can review the evidence list anytime during trial if questions arise. Just press the top left button to open your menu. View dialogue, save, load game, and adjust settings. Enjoy your game! August 9th, 9:30, District Court, courtroom number 3. Oh, that judge is hot! That's probably the weirdest thing to ever say when you first see it. Like an old man character. I was like, oh, he's hot. It's like, court is now in session for the trial of Miss Plum Swift. The fence is up. Ready. That's the prosecutor we're up against? I thought they said he got his prosecution license like a half a month ago. Well, anytime. It's never too late to become a prosecutor, ain't that right? Let me see. Oh dear, how should I put it? The prosecution is ready. Is that right? Huh? Isn't the prosecutor today a rookie who just got qualified half a month ago? How come this man is as old as my grandpa? Oh, well, I did just get qualified half a month ago, but before that, I was doing some odd jobs in court. Finally got qualified now, you know how to put it. You're never too old to learn. Ho ho ho. I wonder if he's gonna be the prosecutor like the whole time we're playing. You know, but he looks very nice for an old man. I mean, not like I would smash, kind of like. But he looks like a nice, fine, refined gentleman who has seen his face. He's 84, so. Could this be one of those stories where a janitor at the court finally gets qualified after years of hard work? But my God, God, Charlie is so hot. Love that man. He looks gorgeous. He is a fun smash. Look, for the most part, with this game, with these kinds of games, just give me a hot man and I will enjoy myself. has the particularly really fallen to such a state? Anyways, focus on the trial for now. Well then, Miss Ray and Prosecutor Hush, right? Oh, yes, that's right. I'm Prosecutor Hush. So if both the prosecution and defense today are newcomers to the field, whether the defendant in this case is guilty or not will largely depend on your performance. So please do your best. I will. Let's get straight to the point, Your Honor. Very well. It seems that both of you are ready. Please proceed with the case summary. Prosecution? Your Honor, the prosecution is 84 years old. Oh, me? I'm trying to recall it. Like I said, Your Honor, the prosecution is 84 years old. Ah, yes, you interrupted my thoughts, Your Honor. Now I've forgotten everything. Sorry about that. So what are you gonna do now? I mean, maybe given the fact that he is 84, does help me a lot. Just wait. Oh, I remember now. Oh, you remember? This case is obviously a murder by poisoning. It happened to be on a cruise ship, and the defendant is a lawyer. It's a lawyer surnamed Drake. Chief? 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 So it's a case like that. What? Chief? He seems to think that you're the defendant in this case. I'm standing far from the center. Even if he's got the person wrong, he should think you're the defendant. That's not the point. There's something wrong with what I said. Yeah, you got the whole case wrong, sir. But I have a feeling what you just said might be coming up later. Yeah. Yes. There isn't a single part of your statement that is correct. Oh. Right? What's the opposite report? Time of death between 3:30 and 5:15 on August 8th. Cause skull fracture. Yeah, that's not poison. It's also extensive bruises to the victim's back, consistent with the characteristics of a fall. What should I do? Maybe the defense, should take the case summary here, Your Honor. Considering I'm not 84 years old. Can this grandpa prosecutor really make it? Well, that prosecutor has turned the opening into a mess. This won't do. But we can use this chance to impress the judge. Since the prosecution is unreliable, use your speech to steer the trial back to track. I'll give it a try then. After all, I've seen the trial procedure many times. What should I say now is...
Objection!
The prosecution seems to partly deviate from the facts. So regarding the defendant and the details of the case, please allow the defense to make the corrections. Objection sustained. Defense, you may go ahead. First, as you said in the opening, we are here today to try a murder case. My client, the defendant Plum Swift, is suspecting of killing Pine Camel, a ghost hunt live streamer. Is that correct? What you said finally matches the information I have. I can understand the live stream, but what is ghost hunt live stream? Well, Your Honor, you see, it's a ghost hunt. The ghost hunt live stream is a popular format in Japan and South Korea, similar to ruin exploration. These streamers explore eerie places to capture supernatural events, so it's called a ghost hunt live stream. In recent years, the development of major video platforms there have been many people live streaming ghost hunts. Here's a poster for the ghost hunt streamer. The drawing depicts his appearance during the live stream. I think I've seen this poster before. It was posted by the victim not long ago. Can I say the victim? Shame he died. He's actually kind of nice looking. I still don't quite understand, but simply put, it's just a group of people seeking trouble by exploring risky places, right? Yeah, good job, Your Honor. It's not entirely wrong. As for the crime scene in this case, it is in a high-end Chinese-style residential community. My camera is being all freaky. Oh. Hold on. What's with the subtle hesitation just now? Did you forget the name of the community? You read my mind, Chief. I took this case in a rush, and that awkward name is indeed hard to remember. No worries. If you need to confirm any information, just remember you can check the exhibit for help. Try. Innocence. Wait, hold on. So the game takes place in 2024, so last year technically. Well, I think... No, this game was released... Well... The name of the community where the incident occurred should be in there. I just need to hurry up and continue my statement. The location of the incident is... Innocence, and its name is... Miete Mansion. What? Murder Mansion? Is there really a community with such a name? I find it weird too, but the community's name matches what's on the victim's promotional poster. That seems to be... Seriously, what is going on with you, camera? I am trying to adjust my camera because, chat, if you don't know, I got myself a new monitor. And it's a bigger monitor. And so now I'm using my old monitor as a second monitor. And it's really nice. And I really like it. And it was well worth the money I spent on it. Even though I've only had it I've only been using it for the past 4 hours. Well, basically ever since I got home from work. So... It looks like the defense is well prepared. Impressive. I'm pretty sure that the prosecution was well prepared too, but the prosecution, again, like I said, is 87 years old. Wait, no, 84. I'm not feeling cheerful despite your kind words. Now for the next question. I'll ask the defense to help me answer it, please. For example, why was the defendant arrested by the police? You must know the reason, right? Isn't something the prosecution should know best, isn't it? It seems like the prosecutor Hush is seeking help from us. He has to step up and be the good guy. Why do I have to play both defense and prosecution? Because pardon me, it's like, do I bring up Tyrion Colbert Just to bring up more Ace Attorney stuff? Because, yeah. I mean, I already brought up a return. Because Tyrion could do both. Why can't you, Luna? In that case, let the defense present evidence to explain the answer to this question. This is the part where I need to present evidence to the judge. I've seen this many times. Choose the appropriate exhibit, click present, and that's it. I believe this evidence explains why the defendant was arrested by the police.
That's it.
I have a video recording of the victim's live stream before his death. The content is, well, it's hard to describe. Oh, so show me. Huh. Isn't this supposed to be a video? Why are these all screenshots? What exactly is in these photos? The live video was very long and contained a lot of repetitive and irrelevant footage. So I only took screenshots of the irrelevant parts. Let me explain it briefly. At the time of the screenshot, 4:40 p.m. is showing the victim exploring the house after entering. It looks like he stumbled. At this moment, the victim appears to be holding a selfie stick and writing in notes at the same time. The subsequent footage is all in portrait mode, and the victim had already found a place to set up his phone. He disappeared in the screen. There is no movement for the next few minutes. Next time the victim appears on the screen is at 4:54 p.m. when he exited towards the right side of the frame. We can also see that the bruise on the victim's leg was caused by a stumble. Oh, so it is blood. This is also the last time the victim appeared on the screen. At 4:55 p.m., an pink object appeared in the live stream. After entering the room, it hesitated and looked around for a while. It's not until 4:57 p.m. that it continued to moving forward. Then, accompanied by a falling sound, a blurry shadow fell down, and this shadow was later confirmed to be the victim lying dead on the first floor. What's that creature behind? Was there really a ghost haunting in the murder house? I can't completely rule out this possibility, but at least there are no ghosts appearing in this video. The pink object is actually an exaggerated mascot costume. And the person in it is my client, Miss Plum Swift. And I knew just minutes before this trial. Huh, and why was she dressed like a squid at the crime scene? I think that thing is called an octopus. Whoa, no! It's an ancient god called Cthulhu! Cthulhu. What on earth is that? How much time you got? We could dive into Cthulhu lore here. We could talk about it probably for like hours and stuff. In a word, the entire sequence of events was above witnessed by all viewers watching the live stream. I mean, like, how popular is the guy, though? Like, how popular is this ghost hunter? I believe that's why the defendant became the prime suspect in this case and was arrested by the police. Am I correct, Your Honor? Yes. I didn't expect the defense to have such a clear grasp of the case details. I really don't, Your Honor! As if you're trying to directly prove her guilt. That's not my purpose, Your Honor! No. Sure, whatever floats your boat, random. My defense hasn't even started yet. That old man's just giving you a thumbs up. Great job. Now here's a prosecutor. All right, promotion on our first trial. If it goes on like this, my mind's gonna split. Now that both the prosecution and defense are ready, let's proceed. Well, with just these few exhibits, it's not enough to prove the defendant's guilt. Prosecutor, hush. Please summon the witness. But wait, the prosecution is still searching for documents. Oh, no. Now, the witness, Miss Orca Falcon, is entering the courtroom. How come are you still searching for documents on site? We took this case too hastily without the chance to interview people involved or investigate the scene. Everyone's words and action in the court, along with the exhibits presented, will be crucial. Pay close attention. Got it. Leave it to me. Ooh, she's pretty. Prosecutor, hush. Please say something to the witness, please. Like, the proper thing that a prosecutor usually says to a new witness is, name an occupation, please. Prosecutor, hush. According to procedure, I should introduce myself, right? Oh, right, I forgot. Please, go ahead. My name is Orca Falcon, the security guard and administrator for Mir de Menson. So this lady is the first witness I'm going to question today. She looks like a very gentle person. Oh no, she's gonna be like, fuck you. God, I hate it. I mean, we should give him a break. He's 84. Huh. Aren't you Officer Falcon, the police legend who single-handedly wiped out a gang of 600 thieves? Just forget what I said. Thank you, but rumors always exaggerated a little bit more than the truth. Actually, the gang only had 6 members. 100 times. That's not just a bit! Besides, I'm no longer a detective. As my child grows up, I switched to a safer job. My husband is serving in the Middle East peacekeeping force. We don't want our child to lose both parents in the future. They're truly a pair of heroic role models. Now, I'm a security guard in the community. Quite the difference, I know. I swear to God. What a great loss for judiciary to lose a talent like you. But wait, let me add a few words. As you heard, the witness was a detective. She is knowledgeable about the case and has expertise in criminal investigation. The prosecution believes that having her replace me to explain the situation is more reasonable. What do you think? Considering that when you first saw what the case was it was a murder on a cruise ship that was done by my chief. All right, yeah, we should let the pretty former detective speak about the case. No problem. You got the chance to suck off again, huh? Roger that. I'll take it from here. Please take a look at this floor plan. The incident occurred in B2 of Mare Dimension. A duplex was a Chinese-style decor and a two-style structure. Because of the last 2 owners, a B2 died unexpectedly. It's been rumored as a murder house and has been vacant for a long time. More than one victim, but 3? This mansion can be visited with a key obtained through a prior application. The victim, Pime Camels, has reserved the B2 in advance for a ghost hunt live stream. During the live stream, the audience saw the defendant push him from the 2nd floor to his death and called the police at once. But when the ambulance and police arrived, he was already dead, so the defendant, the only person at the scene, was arrested. I have a question. The 2nd floor doesn't seem very high up, yet the victim died on the spot? Indeed, at this height, I wouldn't even have serious injuries if I fell, right? If you really fell, you wouldn't be here anymore. It's not that simple. About that, please take a look at this photo of the scene taken by the police upon arrival. What? Yes, as the former owner's accidental death, a small amount of antique Chinese furniture was left unattended at the scene. And unfortunately, our victim had his head on the corner of the altar table during the fall, which led to his death. Hit his head right on the corner. Bad luck. Let me submit these items as evidence. Alright, accepted. By the way, since you're the administrator of the community, could you give us a brief overview of it? Sure thing. The incident took place in the Mia de Mensen, a close, high-end community built by a foreigner enterprise. The number of houses directly managed by me in Zone B is very small. What do you mean by small? Specifically, how many are there? 3. There are only 3 in total. Huh? Only 3? Yes, only 3 in Zone B. They're all large Chinese-style villas, and the community is high-end. As you may know, the dense population is an important measure of the community's high-end status. No matter how it ends, there's still there's still a murder house. In addition, the property has a closed management system requiring non-owners like the defendant to register for entry and exit. Therefore, it is relatively easy to trace the personnel involved in this case. I have a report here for your reference. Having a lot more pieces of evidence all of a sudden, I'm a bit lost now. Don't worry. Apart from collecting evidence, we can also hear the testimony. Through the testimony, the witness, we can gather more information about the case. Once the witness starts testifying, the significance of each exhibit may change based off their statement. Right, I almost forgot. If I want to help Plum clear her name, I need to find the evidence that proves that she's not the murderer. Witness, based off of the current evidence, is the defendant really the only person who had the opportunity to commit the crime? Can you provide more detailed explanations about this? Sure, Your Honor. Please allow me to report on the reason for the defendant's arrest. All right, please proceed. I like his little gavel. At 4:50 p.m. that day, the defendant, dressed in a bizarre outfit, walked into Zone B of the community, and we crossed paths. Shortly after the defendant got in, the police arrived. As a security guard and former police officer, I accompanied them at once. We climbed the external stairs of the B2, broke the door, and found the defendant tied up on the second floor and the body on the first. Per the observatory report, the victim died when the defendant pushed him from the second floor, causing his head to hit the altar corner. Based on the conditions of the scene, it can be deduced that no one tampered with the area after the victim was pushed off. During an on-site interrogation, the defendant also admitted to pushing someone off, so we arrested her on the spot. If I remember the observatory report, yeah, the bruises were on his back. Remarks, weirdo. You're right, they did say the defendant was tied up. But that could also, part of me is like, I might have to press further on that one. Indeed, logic is clear and flawless. Thanks to the professional detective, I suddenly see the light. Things I didn't remember, all came back to me. So after hearing this testimony, does the defense have any thoughts? Your Honor, the defense likes to proceed with my cross-examination that I have all license words. Leaving all the important things to the others. Are you playing the sidekick in a skit? I have two questions. Firstly, the bizarre outfit you mentioned is this one. What a masterpiece, huh? The defendant walked into Zone B dressed like that afternoon. I first saw a strange creature moving towards here from afar, then trying to break into the community. Without hesitation, I intercepted that thing and realized it was a human wearing a strange mascot costume. She hadn't been in making a fuss there. I wouldn't have taken out a tranquilizer gun for... It hasn't been making a fuss there. I would have taken out a tranquilizer gun for wild animals. You're even equipped with that kind of thing? It took a lot of effort in me and the investigating officers to strip this costume off the defendant. That outfit seems to have something strange on it. I'll examine it closely later. That later is right now. I guess that later will not be... Wait, what about what's this ghost thing? I guess I can't really examine it. I guess we will examine it closely later. I got that part. If what the witness said is true, is there a possibility the defendant accidentally pushed the victim? This would significantly affect the nature of this case. If we admit that the defense accidentally pushed the victim and led to his death, and it's admitting she is the murderer, of course, the charge of neglecting homicide is much lighter compared to intentional homicide when it comes to the conviction. Plum entrusted me with a not guilty defense. I can't back down on this issue. Anyways, the defense has the right to question the witness. Please allow me to question the testimony first. No problem. If I reviewed the procedure thoroughly on my way to the court, first I need to ask the witness for more details to gather information. Oh, so it's basically, it says make sure to press every statement. Like I do anyways. If I find any contradictions between the testimony and the evidence I have, it's time to present it. I need to precisely present the exhibit that contradicts the specific statement in the testimony. The witness seems to be sharp and focused. Questioning her can improve your skills. So make the most of it and start with questioning right away. You can ask for more information. Asking questions will not diminish the judge's impression of you. But be careful when you present. If you present the wrong exhibit, the judge's impression of you may worsen. Instead of immediately pointing out contradictions, it's better to ask for more information. Basically, like it's saying, press every fucking statement. Now we enter the crossover examination. The character will recall the witness testimony through keywords. When the keyword is clicked, the witness's full origin statement is displayed. The same testimony is clicked again. The cross-examination of that statement will be initiated. After identifying the testimony that contradicts the evidence, first click the corresponding keyword to activate the statement. Find the contradictory evidence, click present, and expose the witness's flaws and advance the story. It's the game ends if your HP is depleted. Save often. There's also an auto-save feature. Keep challenging yourself. Per the officer's report, the victim died when the defendant pushed him from the second floor, causing his head to hit the altar corner.
Hold it!
Hit the corner of the altar table on the first floor? Is that really just a coincidence? It's hard to believe. The victim's blood was found on the table corner, matching the injuries found on the skull. The fresh damage marks on the corner perfectly match the impact of the victim's fall. Considering the scene, the police could only come to the singular conclusion. According to those traces, it seems like there's a little doubt about the cause of death. If it wasn't Plum, then who could it be? Based on the conditions of the scene, it can be deduced that no one tampered with the area after the victim was pushed off.
Hold it!
So the scene was already the same as in the picture when the police arrested the defendant. Yes, we acted very cautiously. Aside from taking the defendant, everything at the scene would have remained as is. If you have any questions, just ask me. I do have one. If everything is as she said, would the state of the victim at the desk really look like that? Once I figured out, present the exhibit to the statement.
Hold it!
The defendant admitted it herself? Yes, since she was entangled and unable to move, we questioned her directly. I did push something down as I entered the door. But since the outfit was inconvenient, it was hard to confirm what I pushed. She said that it was the same thing on site. Can you bring some help instead of causing trouble? This video serves as the basis of the police's response and matches the defendant's own testimony. We originally suspected that the extensive coverage of the closing might indicate the possibility of someone impersonating. However, the defendant immediately identified herself on the screen, which was greatly helped the police, which greatly challenged me as well.
Hold it!
After the defendant entered, did anyone else enter the area? No, except for the police who came to handle the case. The defendant was the last person to enter Zone B that day. I want to confirm that are there any other entrances or exits to Zone B? Or is it possible to climb over the wall with tools? If such a person exists, they have to stealthily evade the surveillance cameras outside the community. Then climb over the 3-meter-high fence without triggering any motion sensors or touching any high-voltage wires. And they'll hack off all the closed-circuit surveillance cameras in Zone B to completely erase their presence from the footage. Such a person would have to be a world-class renowned special agent. Do you really think such a person was there? Of course not. I was just asking out of caution. So anyone entering or leaving this area would definitely be seen by the witness.
Hold it!
So if you only found out about the murder after the police arrived, is this correct? Yes, because it was a viewer of the victim's live stream who called the police. I don't watch those kinds of streams. I did my best to ensure that all security protocols were followed, but I still couldn't prevent the incident from happening. Now I can only cooperate with the police and bring the murderer to justice. Feels like her gaze could be earned to the defendant's seat.
Hold it!
External stairs? Wasn't there an entrance on the first floor? It's a bit complicated. Besides, it's not really the focus of the case. Simply put, due to years of neglect, the door on the first floor was rusted shut, so we had to enter through the second floor. That's why we immediately found the defendant on the second floor when we entered. And the defendant, what was her condition at the time? She was entangled on the staircase, railing by her outfit in a rather eerie state, unable to move. The police took a while to rescue her and almost alerted the fire department. Plum, look what trouble you caused. Okay, so we're not gonna ask why she was tied up?
Objection!
Nope. Okay, sorry, Your Honor. Oh, did I just hit the...
Hold it!
Okay, yeah. Again, I should explain that this game is produced by a Chinese company, so the English translation might not be perfect, and probably won't be perfect. This is an indie company, okay? They don't have big budgets. Or they may not have a big budget. I don't know. I haven't really talked to anybody. I just said thank you for the stream keys at one point. Speaking of stream keys, we do have there is a giveaway going on. If you want to type in ! giveaway info, you can see how to enter and how it's gonna work, basically. And the giveaway does go on beyond just Trial of will continue on throughout not just Trial of Innocence streams. Yeah, it was right. It was right. Right, I think it was right evidence
Objection.
wrong. Nope. So it wasn't. Based on the conditions of the scene, did no one tampered with the scene after the victim was pushed off? Okay, but hear me out. If no one tampered with the evidence, I think the blood got on the wrong corner of the table.
Objection.
I think I'm going somewhere with that. Officer Falcon, may I ask you a question? Please, go ahead. Do you believe the defendant who admitted to the pushing is the sole suspect since no one tampered with the scene afterwards? Yes, the defendant's condition prevented her from tampering with the scene after all. Then there's something strange. Please take a look at this photo of the scene. The police interference with the police inference is that the victim was pushed from the second floor and hit his altar table and died. But given the position of the body and the altar table in the photo, it's impossible, right? The body fell on the right, while the blood stain was on the left of the altar table. They were in totally different sides. At just one floor height, I don't think the body could have hit the altar table hard enough to change its angle completely. Ah. Well done, Luna. Very keen observation. Besides, there's another conspicuous issue in this photo worth discussing. Ooh. Is it what I said about where the blood is? Anything else? The blood around the body is normal. Damn it wasn't what I said about the blood. It's what you expect from someone who fractured their skull on a... is that what you expect from someone who fractured their skull on their corner table? Oh, it could be about what I said about the blood. And there's also... Ooh, yeah, they probably would have been bleeding a lot more than what's in this, given what's in this photo. Head trauma gives you way more than you would think. Indeed. This is much less blood than I've seen in other fall scenes. I don't think Officer Falcon and the police would deliberately tamper with the scene. Could it be that someone else deliberately manipulated the scene before the police arrived? That is indeed hard to rule out. Order, order. After hearing the defense argument, I could also find this scene photo very suspicious. Could it be?
Objection.
Prosecutor Hush. Is that his whole joke? Is that he just goes quiet because he's Hush? But Prosecutor Hush, do you have any opinion? Your Honor and Officer Falcon, I haven't caught up with your thinking. Could you please help me refute it? Please tell me he is not the prosecutor we're going to be dealing with the whole game. Also, this music is great. I wonder if it's on Spotify. If not, I won't be using Spotify for too much longer, honestly, because I decided I'll just go with YouTube. But I am gonna, wait until I canceled my premium, my Spotify premium like a few days ago, and then once my premium is officially over, that's when I'll subscribe to YouTube Premium. I think with what my intents for things, I think it's just better for me. The $2. If so, why'd you shout objection? Since Prosecutor Hush has requested it, I'll provide some explanation. I acknowledge the contradiction raised by the defense, but that don't undermine the conclusion reached by the police, because it only means that the body shifted it in directions relative to the altar table happened before the police arrived. This does not change the conclusion that the defendant was the only person present at the scene. But the defendant was entangled in the staircase railing and didn't have the ability to tamper with the scene. Whether the defendant was entangled in the staircase railing before the victim's death, or is something we cannot prove. After all, the live stream was cut off immediately after being reported by the nuncies. She could have tampered with the scene on the first floor before returning to the second floor. What? Isn't that a bit far-fetched? She was wearing that kind of costume. But if that's not entirely impossible, calm down and listen carefully. Also, given the victim's limited height fall, there's also the possibility that he survived for a short time after the fall. If the victim moved the altar table, what if the victim moved the altar table after he fell? During the victim's struggle, he accidentally moved the table. The movement was so minor, so no insignificant traces were left. Oh, I understand now. For example, after the victim fell, he struggled and kicked out his right foot, delivering a perfect spin kick. What? Prosecutor Hush? The altar table was kicked and spun around. That's how it went. What do you think? Sure. While your description is somewhat weird, this possibility cannot be denied. Oh, so this was actually possible. Don't just accept the absurd reasoning so easily, okay? Though they're reluctant to admit it, Officer Falcon's explanation does make sense. The inconsistency in the photo of the scene isn't sufficient to entirely overturn the suspicion on the defendant. But your efforts at least have created a slight crack in her seemingly solid chain of logic. If the defense is truly innocent, following this crack will eventually tear apart the previous conclusion. Okay, I see. Well then, as my duty demands, I will now provide stronger testimony to prove the defendant must be the murderer. Next round of testimony is coming. Regarding the point of the defendant is the only possible suspect. Please allow me to continue my testimony. I see. Please go ahead. The house where the incident occurred had its unique layout. The first floor door is totally sealed. The only door up is accessible, and the lock on the second floor is faulty. Once closed, it will lock itself at once. You have to use the key to enter or exit. There are 2 keys in the second floor. At the time of the incident, one was held by the victim and the other held by the defendant. When we broke into the house, both keys were securely attached to the holders, with no sign of them being taken away. On the day of the incident, no one else could enter the scene except the victim and the defendant. In conclusion, the defendant, Plum Swift, is the only suspect. That's all. Okay, what kind of terrible lock is this? Truly befitting a murder house. And the police examined the doors and windows at the scene and found no evidence of forced entry or tampering with the locks. But then our client is made more suspicious. Officer Falcon, I have a request. Please go ahead. Can the lock on the murder house be submitted as evidence in court? I just want to have a look at, want to accept it as evidence. Are you only here for fun? No problem. For further investigation, the police has removed it. Let me try. Ha! It's really stuck once locked. It looks like we'll have to use the key to open it. The murder house truly lives up to its reputation. Reputation! A murder house! But would anyone take over such a house? That's not my concern. I wouldn't want it even if it was free. Couldn't agree more. I better focus on how to break down Officer Falcon's testimony. Your Honor, may the defense start questioning now? No problem. You may proceed.
Hold it!
What do you mean by securely attached to the holders? Mr. A, you know something about key rings, right? That didn't work because I didn't go to my headphones as much. This is what happens when I open Streamlabs before I, turn my headphones on. As one would do. Because apparently Streamlabs OBS They're metal rings that are often adorned with the various ornaments. That's right. The police conducted technical examinations on the key rings of both the defendant and the victim. Both showed no signs of being forcibly damaged. Besides, the victim was found lying on his back, and his key ring was completely pressed under his body. As for the defendant, due to her peculiar state, her key was rolled up in the mascot costume on the railing. Even if there was other people at the scene, they wouldn't have been able to obtain keys from either of them. Considering the condition of the second floor lock, one must use the key to leave the house. So even if there was a third party at the scene, he would have been locked inside by the time the police broke in. Exactly. So this murder house has truly become a locked room. A locked murder room house.
Hold it!
So only the victim and the defendant could enter B2. Yes, as a security guard of the community, I would never violate regulations and allow unregistered visitors to enter. Are you so sure that I don't know how to continue? Are you sure that I don't know how to continue questioning? If you can't refute the opponent with words, consider a reviewing exhibit instead. Okay.
Hold it!
Officer Falcon, it's not time to reach a conclusion yet. I was simply presenting the outcome based on various facts. If you want to refute me, you should show some convincing evidence, shouldn't you? Yeah, you're right. Relying solely on words won't convince anyone. It might convince someone. Maybe Prosecutor Ush. Alright. I'll make sure of that after the questioning.
Hold it!
Has the door on the first floor always been sealed off? Yes, the police investigation ruled out the possibility of the locked room being staged during the incident. The lock on the first floor was damaged by natural rust, a result of long-term neglect and lack of maintenance. What about the windows? Are there any other ways to enter or exit the house without using the door? No, despite its outward appearance as a Chinese-style villa with wooden windows. It's meticulously designed for safety, with stainless steel lining and explosion-proof glass on all the windows. On the day of the incident, all the windows were double locked from the inside and outside and couldn't be opened. Can this even be considered livable? It's more like a locked room that even ghosts can't escape from.
Hold it!
Why on earth is that? It would take a lot of time to explain it thoroughly, so I'll only state the conclusion. It's been confirmed by the police that the malfunction was not due to human intervention. It's speculated that some parts of the lock has aged, which constantly led to its effect. I see. By the way, the lock on the second floor has been like this so long before the incident. Which brand is that lock anyways? I'll never buy it. Me neither.
Hold it!
Okay, first of all, why did one of the keys end up in with the defendant? Oh, wow, the key was sent to me by Shirley Campbell himself because I was going to visit him and collect materials. That doesn't make any sense at all. Forget it, I better not delve into her matters for now. If there's a chance for a recess later, I'll thoroughly clarify the matter about the key with her. And there's only two keys. Since the lock is damaged, why not replace it with a new one? It involves a complex cost attribution issue, so I'll just state it to conclusion. It's impossible to make any reservations to the facilities of 2B until the next owner takes over. It also means that there's only two keys for 2B, both of which were applied by the victim. Isn't this a high-end community? Why so stingy? How do you feel? You should be getting the hang of being a lawyer now, right? Yeah, I've grasped the process of finding the most obvious flaw in presenting the exhibit. The remaining issue is figuring out how to eliminate Plum's suspicion in committing the crime. Did you notice the former police officer's professional demeanor when she makes her suppress her personal emotions quite well? But maybe she has a bit of a bad impression of her client from the start, which might have led to her unconsciously to overlook some facts favorable to the defendant when testifying. She may not even realize it herself. Ah, no wonder why things seemed off. Indeed, as long as you properly use exhibits to point out new possibilities, your assertions might be recognized in court.
Hold it!
No, I didn't mean to. I was just trying to read the statements again. This might be crazy.
Objection!
Yeah. What about that third guy? Officer Falcon, you've been following the procedures diligently, as you said. But there's something you overlooked. For example, this registration form. I don't follow, Miss Ray. According to the records on the form, there's a person named Bamboo Deer who had entered the community, and this person left the community just after the incident. In that case, the police cannot rule out the possibility that he entered the scene to commit the crime, right? So that's what you're questioning. Based on the current evidence, this person couldn't be the suspect, so I didn't need to mention it in my testimony. Specifically, why do you think this person couldn't be the suspect? The reason is simple. It's about timing. Let's review the contents of the live stream. The moment the viewers witnessed the defendant pushing the victim off was 4:57 p.m. and the visitor left the community at 4:56 p.m. Ah! It seems you get it. Yes, these two events occurred almost simultaneously. Huh. So if he would have had no time to be involved in this case, exactly, there's no sort key for him to use. Still, only the defendant and the victim had the opportunity to enter 2B. Oops. Moreover, let's say this person did enter 2B. So what? The video had completely revealed the moment the defendant committed the crime. In a fact cannot be erased from any interference. Is that so? Calm down and think carefully. If your assertion is that the defendant is completely innocent in this case, then the incident of the defendant causing the death of the victim must have never happened, right? This is basic logic. Indeed, I haven't thought about it properly since the trial began. If Plum is truly innocent, then under what circumstances could these two pieces of evidence been left behind? When she entered the murder house wearing that masking costume, who did she push down? What happened inside the house before she arrived? If I want to refute the police's complete chain of evidence, I must have my own assertion. Defense, you've been quiet for quite a long time, although I did have some doubts about Bamboo Deer. We don't need to discuss this person for now based on the evidence provided by the police.
Objection!
Hold on, please. Defense wants to try to present a new possibility to refute the police's claim. Oh, really? Go ahead. The new assertion of our side is... So we've just been trapped in a fixed mindset? Why did this live stream video necessarily capture the exact moment of the crime? Let's consider a possibility. Pine Camel was already dead, and it was his body that fell. Then even if the defendant admitted she pushed down the victim, it wouldn't constitute murder, right? What? Are you saying the victim fell twice? No, Miss Lawyer. Your speculations are solely based on your argumentation. It remains within the realm of imagination. Based on the traces of the scene, the most reasonable inference is the victim fell only once. But it seems that you can't prove the victim fell only once, can you? Has anybody read the Observer report recently? I'm just saying. Anybody read the Observer report, or do we need to go updated? I'm sorry. Sorry. I told myself I wouldn't bring up updating Observer report jokes so much. Yes, as Prosecutor Hush said, due to the same environment, height, and posture of falling, it would be difficult for the forensics expert to determine whether the victim fell once or twice. But live stream video clearly captures the moment when the defendant pushed down the victim. I don't think there's a possibility of the victim falling twice.
Objection!
No, we believe that the video contains a blind spot that we haven't noticed before. It reveals a new possibility. Oh, then please point it out, defense. Where is this so-called blind spot? It seems I need to select the right picture in these pictures. Please look here at this part of the video. Video reveals another possibility in this case.
That's it.
It's here. At the moment the victim fell to the ground, there happens to be a screen in the scene blocking the view. Oh, you're right. We can't be sure whether the victim fell into the altar table in his fall. Order. The position of that screen did indeed obscure the view from the victim's fall. However, Miss Ray, even if the video isn't clear enough, your assertion still has a fatal contradictions. Huh? Really? This video records more than the defendant pushing the victim down. It's just a moment before, this chivalry camel in the spooky shack had appeared on camera. If this live streamer was dead before the defendant entered, how do you explain this footage? That's a problem. Let me think. To make your assertions fully credible, the interface here is crucial. Think through before answering. Got it. Everyone, Chivalry Camel still appeared on camera in this live stream footage because another person. See, the problem is we can't see his face in that. The one actually live streaming was Pine Camel's dead body. Huh? But he was clearly wide awake and even speaking. Oh, so the victim was live streaming himself. Let me shrink. The defendant must have learned the secret art of reanimation. It's just one command from her. The dead can come back to life. Defense, is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? No, we don't have magic in this world, okay? Prosecutor, hush. Of course not. Sorry, it seems my previous assertion doesn't hold up. Let me explain again. The video shared with camera was pre-recorded. But would a pre-recorded video have a lot of interaction between the victim and the comments? Huh, maybe the comments were from actors arranged by him. Is the defendant entering a few seconds later also pre-recorded? Maybe that was created by advanced AI? Don't be silly. AI can't generate pictures as perfect as that. Ooh, shot burn on AI! Oh, or maybe the first part was pre-recorded and then it switched to live when the defendant entered? Although I'm not very tech savvy, it's highly doubtful that pre-recorded and live streams can be switched so smoothly. Although I'm not familiar with live streams, I have confirmed that the videos from the day were all live, no recordings. Why do you have to be so clear-headed at times like this? Sorry, it seems my previous... Actually, it's quite simple. The body could have... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's all pre-recorded. Like everybody who came here has pre-recorded. We set this all up months ago, and you don't know this, but actually I actually started playing this game on April 20th. Yeah, that makes sense. The game came out in like March. So the person on camera must have been someone else disguised as the victim during the live stream. What? As you can see, the live environment was dim. Furthermore, this live stream was abruptly interrupted due to the murder case, as it only lasted a short time. If it was just a brief disguise, it could go unnoticed. Ooh, that makes sense. As we just found out, the person named Bamboo Deer had the opportunity to enter the scene. Suppose Bamboo Deer killed the victim earlier, then disguised as the victim for this live stream. Then the defendant wouldn't be the only suspect. Hold on. Officer Falcon, what do you think of the defense's reasoning? Well, for the sake of precedence, I can't rule out this possibility. Since you both agree with my claim, our side hereby formally requests to summon Bamboo Deer as a witness to testify in court. But wait! This visitor did come to the community on the day of the incident. I saw it with my own eyes, and the police investigated it. But it's impossible for someone like that to be disguised as the victim.
Objection!
Good, I must seize this opportunity to counterattack. Officer Pelican, please listen to me. Our side has repeatedly revealed the key details affecting the case during questioning. Perhaps the defense's eccentric personality and odd behaviors does really seem troublesome. But under the impression that she is annoying, do you inherently overlook many facts favorable to her? Are you saying that my personal emotions cloud my judgment? Yes, I have to admit, your testimony was logically sound and your emotions were well controlled. However, you were still influenced by a preconceived impressions showing a tendency to convict the defendant. Bamboo Deer clearly had an opportunity to commit the crime, yet you deliberately ignored it. If you continue, you'll only present the testimony unfavorable to the defendant, right? Please don't insist that it's impossible. Such biased remarks are inappropriate. Let's summon Bamboo Deer. Huh? What's wrong with Officer Falcon? Maybe you hurt her detective pride by saying it too frankly. If there were any other prosecutors, they would have objected and stopped you. But in this case, well, no. How could I make such a biased statement? This place is indeed not suitable for me anymore. I'm leaving now. I'm going to the market to buy groceries. Oh, hold on! Where are you going? Officer Falcon! Officer Falcon! How is Officer Falcon? Officer Falcon ran off so fast that the bailiffs couldn't catch up. She's probably felt that her professional integrity was lacking and went for some self-reflection. Let's just let her cool off for a while and it should be fine, I believe. She's still got the detective skills, staying true to her past. What should I do? Who can help with summon the witnesses? Oh, the defense is talking about Bamboo Deer. That seems to be the person this person should be summoned. Actually, I'm also curious to see how this person was disguised as the victim. Are you here for fun? Okay, since both sides agree, it's up to the prosecution to summon the witness named Bamboo Deer to the stand. I swear to God if that's actually his name. And not just some stage name. This witness should still be at work now. Luckily, their location isn't far from the court. I think 20 minutes. That should be enough. All right, I declare that the trial is in recess for 20 minutes. Prosecutor Hush, please go through the necessary procedures. Please actually remember them, prosecutor. Yes, I won't forget this time. District Court, defendant lobby. I'm so tired! Well, I knew you could make it, Luna! Don't you count your chickens before they are hatched. We're still far from getting an acquittal. Luckily, the prosecutor is just a weird old man who hardly objects. He reminds me of Professor Williams from our college days. Our break time is limited. Will you two stop chatting? I got carried away. Plum, it's time for you to explain what you did in this case. Wow, you're so serious all of a sudden. It's because you're too unserious. Anyways, let's not waste time. Tell us what happened on the day of the incident. Alright, let me think. I was going to interview Shirley Camel for materials, and we agreed to meet at 5 p.m. in B2 of the Murder Mansion community. You're already calling it the Murder Mansion community? He sent me a key with to be written on it, and I suppose he wanted me to open the door myself. Why didn't he open the door for you? I think it's because He wanted to create a scenario where someone suddenly breaks in during the live stream and it surprises the audience. So a ghost hunt live streamer needs to plan things like that, cause it's all faked. Ooh, spooky. Also, I feel like it's no good place for me, cause we can't cover up the dashing man that is Charles Jerks. He is my man. I mean, I could go like this for now. I could be like here, and it would be just fine. And we could see the whole screen, and we'll be fine. Well, the door was a bit problematic, but he couldn't leave it unlocked, so he had to get me a key the key in advance. That makes sense. Hold on, so you dressed up in that mascot costume for bingo! His screen name was shining like a camel in the spooky shack, and he wanted me to stage a sudden break-in. So of course I would play along and dress up in an evil god to meet him. In order to become a qualified evil god, I spent a lot of money ordering a custom-made one from a famous online shop. It's just a pity that I had too many demands, so to finish the costume it had some flaws. It's a Chinese-style villa. What kind of evil gods were you dressed as? But after I entered, I didn't make it down the stairs before stepping on some sticky liquid and taking a real bad fall. That's when the strange stuff got stuck to your costume. So what on earth is that? Oh, before entering the community, I even took a selfie in the mascot costume to send it to his account. Who in their right mind would do something like that? Wow, but my phone was confiscated, so I can't show you the record. Aha, wait a second, Luna. Huh, is there still a few minutes before the court restart? Why? What did she suddenly take out so many pens from? And why is she starting drawing? Why is she coloring it? What on earth is this? Ha! It's what it looks like. Ta-da! This is my selfie in that costume. What is that? What is it? Oh my god! I agree. This drawing is surprisingly vivid. Wow! I put in a lot of effort to wear this thing before entering the community. If you really want to send it to the victim, the police might interpret it as a murder threat. Wow, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Lena, just take a look at this drawing. It might come in handy. When and how? All right, have you disclosed everything to us? Well, defense, please be prepared to enter the courtroom. Court session will begin in 1 minute. Well, I'll head over there. Was she always like this, even back in school? She was even more so back then, but at least we managed to extract some information, right? Even though most of the time was wasted on this weird drawing. Let's go in. The witness you requested should be here. There. Let's go. We must secure an acquittal. Hooray for acquittals. I will stay here like this. But actually, no. I can move myself up now. August 9th, 10:45 at District Court. Good. Now that both parties are present, the trial will continue. Your name is Bamboo Deer, right?
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
说得没错。
That's right. I'm Bamboo Deer, a tour guide at the Great Sang Art Park.
啊？为什么会是个汉服美女啊？
Why is Bamboo Deer a beauty in enhanced Chinese clothing? Huh? Any problem with my costume?
等等，
Hold on. Why didn't anyone tell me that Bamboo Deer is like this? I thought you knew. I just wanted to see how she could disguise herself as the victim. Why didn't nobody tell me the victim was a female? The suspect was a female. Why do I feel like I've been played? Witness, this is a courtroom. Why did you come dressed like this? Well, it's because someone was to
地
rush.
形人家的工作就是穿着汉服踩在不倒翁底座上摇摆，表演汉服不倒翁呀。
No wonder why she's swaying. Makes me dizzy. Get your mind out of the gutter. This prosecution insisted I come over. Hearing this business in court, I jumped off the base and ran out without even chasing my clothes, so here I am. So swaying on the base for a few years, I've become light on my feet. Now I can walk without making any sound. Can't you just take a taxi here? Witness? Since I'm here. Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, though I have come to court, I still have my job. I still have to do my job as a tour guide. Join my impromptu performance. Feel free to donate if you can, or just enjoy the show. Money for bills for thrills. This is not the time for hawking. Let's get back to this case. Huh? Is that so? Alright. I was going to say that even if you don't visit the park, you can still buy the hung Chinese clothes I am wearing. Whether it's honey, skin, or an opera costume, or a mascot costume, I know them all very well. Very free to ask. Actually, I feel like I still need to be down here so that you guys can see what I'm reading in case if I fuck up with words. Because I will do that. I very much will, and shall. Always and forever. I will fuck up words. I'm also skilled in handicrafts. The outfits I wear are all made by myself, and skiing excuse me, and no to waste of materials. If you're interested, remember to follow my handcraft workshop. What a dedicated worker. Seeing this witness in person, it seems that Officer Falcon was correct. It's impossible for her to disguise herself as a victim for the live stream, right? For the sake of prudence, I think we shouldn't jump to conclusions. Since I took the effort of getting her here, I have something to get out of her. Witness, based on the previous proceedings, we suspected that on the day of the incident, August 8th, you may have Hold on, 1 second. You may have entered the scene of the crime. Can you tell us what you did yesterday? It seems to be my duty to have the witness testimony. Surprised you could remember that. Defense request is reasonable. Witness, please testify as requested. Wow, do you want me to guide you all? Then listen carefully. God. Hey there, folks. Yep, I did swing by this community on that day to gather inspiration. The houses there are all in Chinese style, aren't they? The boss at the parks asked me to observe and learn something. I finished my shift at the park around 2 p.m. and rushed over around 2:30. I left before 5 p.m. because I got back for the night shift, and I didn't step inside of any of the houses during that time. My nose is stuffy. How about it, Dad? If it's a witness is pretty good, huh? You really take it as a performance. Well, in this defense, what's your opinion on the testimony? At first glance, this brief testimony seems fine. What should I do next, Chief? For witnesses with such brief testimonies, you usually need to ask more carefully. There might be some new information in her answers. Got it. Anyways, witness, I'm about to start the questioning. Be prepared. Sure thing. If there's anything unclear, just ask me.
Hold it!
You rushed over right after your shift. So, were you working overtime? Whoa, you're so sharp. The boss did approve some extra cash for my investigation. Upon hearing about the overtime pay, I dashed straight to that community. Our boss even paid for my transportation. What? Nobody's paying me for my trips to this courtroom for legal battles? Hey, how do you even get How did you even get dragged into this? By the way, is your office in need of an all-rounder? I got some free time every Saturday afternoon. We're good on cleaners. Please no side jobs in the courtroom. Let's stick to the point. Why, Luna, are you the one doing all the cleaning? Are you cleaning the toilets? Please make sure. Hey, Charles, make sure she's cleaning the toilets real good. Sorry, I can't. I keep bringing up Ace Attorney.
Hold it!
You left before 5 p.m. So that's about 2 hours. During that time, what were you just investigating? Of course, 2 hours is far enough time to inspect so many houses there. Luna, if you firmly believe this witness may have been in and out of the crime scene, you may need to ask her for more information. You're right. As of now, her testimony is greatly lacking in information. Let me think. Witness, during the 2 hours, what exactly did you inspect? Can you share it with us? Are you going to be my competitor? No, I'm not planning on changing my career yet. I just want to verify the assistantee of your testimony. Says for which she does not do words good. Please forgive my interruption. This question seems to touch on the confidential aspects of the witness's profession. Maybe it might be tricky if there's any confidential agreements to related to the park. Do you still want the witness to share? That makes sense. Should I insist on having her share the investigation experience? Insist. It's crucial information. So the more detailed the testimony, the better. This is a major murder case, so confidentiality agreements and similar contracts should make exceptions for such serious matters. All right, witness, please explain what you saw that day. Oh my, since you insist, I guess I have no other choice. But you need to explain it in case my boss asks me about it. Okay, well, defense, I'll leave that to you. You are so good at passing the buck. Zone B was amazing. There are so many ancient mansions. I've been exploring over 2 hours and still haven't seen everything.
Hold it!
Are you sure you inspected so many ancient houses in Zone B of Mirte Mansion? Of course. Not only are there many of them, but there are styles. They're so diverse. With so many houses in such a large area, it was so overwhelming that I couldn't count them all at once. So you spent 2 hours on that, right? Yes, any problem? Is her explanation consistent with the evidence I have? No. But in true style of lawyer games, press everything.
Hold it!
Gathering information. Why were you gathering information there? Huh? You don't know? Mirta Mansion is a naturally renowned traditional Chinese architectural community. Really? I had no idea. That's an accurate description. This community as architect is quite famous. I think it's more famous as a murder house now. Because of course, always with the murder house, murder house. Part of me wants to go to a murder house just to do something fun. But also part of me doesn't want to get murdered in a murder house. I would just become a statistic then, and I don't want to be a statistic.
Hold it!
When you say the park, you mean the Great Tsang Arts Park, right? Yes. Come on! The tickets to the Great Tsang Art Parks are now on sale. $30 to access all attractions. No tickets, no lies. $30. What a surprise! Wait, no selling in this courtroom. My bad. Can't help it when I hear the name of our park, you know. Force of habit. Is that a park or a market? Oh, besides being a tour guide, I also do some part-time gig promotional at the mall. Sometimes I mix them all up. You're doing 2 jobs at the same time. In that case, you must have a strong sense of time, right? Of course, gotta be punctual or they dock my pay. So I remember things clearly. I mean, this is the only thing that says that there's only three.
Objection.
Witness, can I interrupt your explanation? Wow, is there something you don't understand? You claim that you got absorbed in Zone B because there were so many ancient mansions, right? Huh. Yes? But the registration form on Zone B shows that there is only 3 houses in that entire area. What do you mean by so many? What took you over 2 hours to inspect? I hate my stuffy nose. Hold on a sec, chat. Oh, you could hear the whole thing because I wasn't actually muted. Whoops, sorry. Only 3 houses? If you're not even aware of this, it indicates that you didn't really explore the community. Witness, please answer my question. Could it be that you spent over 2 hours inside B2 the entire time?
Objection.
How can you be speaking so graciously? Let me check. The mansion closer to the entrance. Huh, it should be. I'm sorry. I did enter 2B. Order. Witness, what's going on? You just claimed that you never stepped into any houses. Making false statements in court carries consequences. It's called pre-jury, and you are guilty of it. This is not like that. There's a reason for it. There was a murdering case in 2B. I was afraid of being suspect. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Objection.
Lying about and not entering the crime scene is a serious case of pre-jury. There's no excuse for that.
Objection.
Yes, there won't do. You'll have to be honest in court. Why object when you agree with me? Well, witness, you must tell the truth now. Witness, I hope you can explain it right away. When did you enter 2B that day, and what did you do there? Oops, you guys are so fierce. In fact, I'm a big fan of Chevrolet Camel. You mean, yes, wasn't he live streaming in 2B that day? I was watching it on my phone. Since I happened to be there for the inspection, I felt like it was fate. So I immediately went there to wait for him, to meet him offline. Huh? But how did you get in without a key? Well, I'm quite skilled in many things, so I picked the lock. It wasn't a big deal. What? That wasn't illegal. Wasn't that illegal trespassing? I know what I did was wrong, but I really wanted to see Chevrolet Camel. And besides, no one was living there. Even if unoccupied, it still belongs to the owner of the community. The witness's actions should be held accountable. But let's focus on the current state for now. Witness, please continue. All right, I understand my mistake. Anyways, after I went inside, I saw that he already started the live streaming and was fully focused. I was afraid that if I walked over, I might accidentally appear in frame. So I quickly opened the door and left without doing anything at all. Luna, do you think the witness's explanation holds water? No. I think her explanation for entering 2B is strange. I said strange! Indeed, it's very strange. Is it? As an influence, many fans would especially come to hunt for me. That's because they love me. I can't let them down. I can make merchandise featuring my image by hand on site, whether it's paper cutting clay figurines or acrylic signs. Do you carry all those materials with you? Witness, please stick to the topic. When I say strange, I mean your act of picking the lock and entering 2B for Chevrolet Camel. Oh, What's wrong with that? I suppose we're supposed to present evidence when we're speaking in court. Evidence? As you wish. What? There's evidence that proves that you couldn't pick the lock into 2B is.
That's it.
Yo, this music is dope. Again, it's on Spotify. If not, I'll look it up on YouTube later. Again, if the devs of the game are watching right now, if it's not on Spotify, could you put it on Spotify for me, please? I would much appreciate it, and I would listen to it like almost every day at work. You pick the lock and enter 2B and reopen the door and game? Oh no, did I? Okay. I was confused. Reopen the door to leave when you saw the victim's live streaming, right? Huh? Yes! Unfortunately, the witness statement is a complete lie. Everyone, do you remember this piece of evidence? This is the faulty lock from the crime scene. Ah! Why do you still look confused when even the judge seems to understand? If you want to enter the house, the only entrance is the second floor. You must have used the external stairs. The second floor door, being the only entrance and exit at the crime scene, was thoroughly investigated by the police. Officer Falcon provided us with a detailed explanation of the situation regarding this locked door. And the lock on the second floor is faulty. Once closed, it automatically locks itself, and you have to use a key to enter or exit. And the police examination doors and window scenes found no evidence of forced entry or tampering with the locks. Ah! In other words, you couldn't have entered 2B by picking the lock, let alone open the door or leaving on your own. Excellent questioning. However, there's even more of an intriguing question here. This witness, after the first live was exposed, immediately admitted to having entered 2B before. However, she immediately concocted another complete lie. What does this indicate? I think it's clear. Indeed, Miss Ray is right. But what does this lie from the witness indicate? I'm afraid the witness did enter the scene, but what she wants to truly conceal is the method of entry. There are no signs of forced entry, and there's only two keys. One was the victim and one was the defendant. So, huh? Could it be the victim himself opened the door for you with the key? Huh?
Objection!
I'm a bit confused. Then why object? The French, why would the victim personally open the door for the witness? Right, even if I wanted to claim the witness is problematic, I need to figure out her relationship with the victim first. Why would the victim open the door for her? If you encountered a question that you can't figure out, try thinking about it from a different angle. For example, what was the victim doing in 2B when he opened the door for Bamboo Deer? He should have been preparing for the Ghost Hunt live stream. Could the reason he opened the door for what could be the reason he opened the door for Bamboo Deer be? Defense, you seem to have gotten an answer. Then tell us, why did the victim personally open the door for the witness? The reason why the victim and Camel would open the door for the Bamboo Deer is... because Bamboo Deer was the Pan Camel's live stream assistant. It's our show. Do you have any evidence to support it? Evidence? Don't be nervous. Take a good look at the exhibit and see if there's anything that can support your idea. If you think there isn't, to try another approach and propose a new conjure. Okay. Do I have any evidence to support that Bamboo Deer was the Camel's live stream assistant? No, it would be weird that his assistant wouldn't enter 2 hours later.
That's it.
Okay, sorry, Your Honor. My problem is I can't just look up a guide. I can't just look up a guide because all the guides are in Chinese. I'm sorry. I'm just. I will take care of that on the thing later. I'm just trying to focus. Reason why I couldn't would open the door. But I need evidence for any of this. Preparing for ghost hunt stream. kind of my problem is I also can't just look up a guy, you know, not like just read a quick guide to just be like, yeah, this is the direction you should point in. Because guess what? All the guides I can find are in Chinese. I can't read Chinese. No, it's not food. There is no entry or exit for 24 consecutive hours. Security should check all 3 mansions in this community to present any accidents. I mean, this is gonna become something stupid. But sometimes we just need to... Sometimes we just need...
That's it.
No. In reality, well, if you already didn't know that, why are you so scared before the trial? Chief, spare me. Of course you're right, I don't believe in ghosts either. But what does that have to do with the ghost hunt live streamer? I mean, since there are no real ghosts, if ghost hunting live streamers want to create value during their streams, they need helpers. Otherwise, how could a streamer always counter scary paranormal events at gloomy places? You fucking stage them! It's all fake. All ghost hunting you see ever, chat, is fake. That's why I don't believe in ghosts. Order. Miss Ray, are you suggest... Yes, please look at this poster. In the poster, there is a front picture of Pam Camels, also known as Traveler Camel, in the spooky shack. As I said, in order to create the effect that he's surrounded by paramoral phenomenon, he needs an assistant, and this assistant has left traces in this poster. Traces? Where? Miss Ray? We can't see it very clearly with our very poor eyesight. Could you please point it out for us? Okay. Now click and investigate the suspicious parts to point out another person it is. Does look familiar. Could it directly be copied from a video game? It seems so, but the zombies in the video games you also mentioned come from the free materials online. Could you have just stuck it on the poster by himself? Just can't really see it. Isn't this a Chinese murder house? If they were ghosts, they would be zombies in a Qing dynasty clothes, right? How would that kind of thing get into a modern community? This ghost seems to be made from a curtain, and it appears to be on the same layer as the streamer. Same layer? Essentially speaking, it doesn't look like it was photoshopped. It seems to be the photographs at the same time as the streamer. But what does that indicate? Maybe I can take a look close at what's next to it. This is a crime scene. 2B in Mirror Dimension, right? Why are there things hidden in the background that are in the scene photo? Maybe the background is composited from materials taken from other places. The tombstone and the altar do look very convincing. But what are those small white pieces under the tombstone? Broken bones? I think they might be plastic for foam bird debris used to make a fake tombstone. They further confirmed that the paranormal phenomena he encountered were artificial. But it doesn't prove that Sheriff Camel had an assistant. Could he have set up this background himself? I'll investigate other parts of the poster. Wait. We continue to discuss this indication poster will end. Am I ready? Everyone, please look here. This ghost seems to be made out of curtains, but it looks to be photographed with Sheriff Camel at the same time. Though this poster marker tried to hide it, there's still an intrimmed hand. It seems that at least 2 people were involved in the making of this poster. I see. I didn't expect that happening. So it implies one thing. Sheriff Camel and the Spooky Shack. This account was actually run by a team of at least 2 people. Pine Camels appeared to be the live streamer, and the other created the spooky atmosphere and paranormal events behind the camera. Am I right, witness? Even now, you still choose to remain silent.
Objection.
But I don't understand. Wasn't the one dressed in the ghost at the scene the defendant? She looks much more like a ghost in that costume than the witness. Wait, Prosecutor Hush reminded me. If that was the case, do you have any idea? If the defendant mentioned in her testimony that she had to rush back right to work at night, so she left before 5 p.m. If so, the assistant had to create a spooky atmosphere was gone, and the defendant happened to appear at the time. Given that she had contracted with her victim and agreed to meet there might have been another reason besides collecting materials. He needed another person to create a spooky atmosphere in the place of Bamboo Deer, who had gone to work at the park at that time. Order! The reasoning sounds strange, but it does explain the defendant's odd behavior. Defendant, do you agree with your lawyer's interference? Huh? Do I need to agree? Whatever Luna says is right. You really don't care your verdict, do you? Your Honor, it doesn't matter if my client agrees or not. The point is that the witness's attitude. She hadn't explained why she appeared at the crime scene that day. I can't say anything. Keeping silent now is just useless. To confirm whether the witness collaborated with the victim, the defense has suggested that the police do one thing. Please immediately conduct a thorough search of the scene to check if there are any of the witness's fingerprints or DNA. If she did collaborate with the victim, there must be traces left. Can you really do that? This is indeed a reasonable request. Okay, I'll contact the police at the scene and tell them to start search immediately, as requested by the defense. Witness, what do you think? Wait! You're late. I already sent out the text message a few seconds ago. That was too fast. Well, fine. I guess you really leave me no choice. All right, fine. I admit it. You know what? I'm short of money. So I work multiple jobs at the same time. Streaming with Sheriff Camel and helping him create atmospheres is also one of them. Because I'm good at handcraft, I often help him make some ghostly props. How many jobs are you doing at the same time? Hey, all of this for making money? Really, please trust me. Since you were the victim's collaborator, you were quite familiar with each other, right? We're friends, I think. I've been helping out since his debut. But getting caught doing these supernatural tricks would be embarrassing. That's why I don't want to say. Sorry for all of you here. If anyone wants to buy some exquisite supernatural handcrafted, you can contact me after this trial. Who would buy such a thing? The defendant's reasoning for concealing her actions seems to be somewhat responsible. Defense, what do you think? I still think she's hiding something. Like she murdered. We still believe that the witness's role in this case is highly suspicious. If she was very close to the victim, there should be 2 problems. First, there might have been conflicts between them and what was unknown to others, which could have generated a motive. More importantly, there is an unavoidable possibility now. Since you worked closely with him and are very familiar with his appearance and action, even with a big difference in appearance, you could still have impersonated him and continued the live stream after his death. Order. No. I just spent a little time with him in 2B before 4:30 p.m. Just a little. I left shortly after that. Sherlock Campbell's live streams was paused for a while in the afternoon, right? That was when he used his key to open the door and send me out. Because I hadn't inspected the building yet, I had to walk around a bit before leaving, or else I would get scolded by my other boss. Their victim's live stream started at 3 p.m., and there wasn't due to pause from 3:52 to 4:30. The one who continued the live stream after 4:30 was Shining Camel himself, because I had to rush back to the park to clock in. Do you have any evidence to prove that this person continued the live stream after 4:30 after the victim himself insisted instead of you? Hey, I do. Huh? Really? Yes, I will tell you everything I remember this time. If you're trying to change your testimony, then I definitely can't miss this opportunity. I was indeed working for Sherlock Camel. At the same time, I was one of his most loyal fans. I do remember during the live stream he was holding a phone in one hand and writing in the other, and he accidentally tumbled. You can check the place where he tumbled. There must be some traces, right? If I remember correctly, not long after Charlotte Cameron got up, a grilled octopus rushed in. If you insist that Charlotte Cameron came in the live stream with me, then what about the traces on the floor? They can't be mine, right? Is this what you witnessed about the incident? Yes, I had left 2B at the time and watched the live stream on my phone outside. So what I saw is the same as what everyone else saw. Miss Lawyer, please stop projecting your unfounded fantasies onto me. I remember the video the witness mentioned, and we already have seen crucial content in court. Yes, but we didn't pay any attention to whether the streamer had tumbled. DNA testing is highly sophisticated technology, so it's unlikely to be falsified. What do you think about her testimony? She didn't accuse Plum as the murderer, nor admitted to impersonating the victim. Maybe she really had some tricks to get through the test safe and sound. Sorry to interrupt. I see your text message to have the police search the scene, right? Now the police have sent that investigation report into my hands. Huh? So fast? The police did find small dots of blood where the streamer tumbled in the video. They immediately extracted DNA and conducted a primary comparison to the victims. And it can be confirmed that the blood was from the victim. Huh? How could that be? The blood and the traces of the tumbling were interviewed, which makes it very difficult to be falsified. Confirms that from 4:30 to 4:54, the streamer was indeed Pam Camel himself. Order. Well, that just puts a damper in my logic. Well, that's not good. Do you still insist that the witness wants to impersonate the victim to continue the live stream? How could there be evidence like that? Now I can only resort to testimony. But the DNA test had made the impersonation completely impossible. But is there still a loophole in the testimony? Then defense, please proceed with your questioning.
Hold it!
Let me confirm first. The grilled octopus you mentioned. Was this person in the video? Have you seen her up close? It was her. I watched the same video as you, but I hardly left by then. How could I have a chance for a close observation? She didn't fall into my language trap. Anyways, at the time, just like you, I was merely a viewer of Sherlock Camel's live stream. I don't know for sure if that was grilled octopus was the person in the defendant's seat.
Hold it!
According to DNA test results from the scene, the blood did belong to the victim, Pine Camel. Is it possible that the blood was actually fabricated afterwards? Huh? Can blood be fabricated? The police not only extracted the blood, but also found the slight scratches on the floor. These traces all match perfectly with those on the spot. That's where the victim tumbled. In other words, it's impossible to fabricate such a scene unless it was made by an extremely skilled forensics expert. Although I think the witness is problematic, I think she can't just happen to be a forensics expert, could she? What should I do? I seem to have entered a dead end. Oops. I've been looking for loopholes very carefully, but why can't I find any contradictions? Don't panic. When questioning reaches a deadlock, not pushing forward is also a strategy. What do you think? If you feel like you can't make any progress in questioning, do you want to stop it first? Perhaps breaking out of the mindset provided by the witness could lead to a new way of thinking. What? What should I do? Should I continue to question testimony? Continue. I can't give up halfway. I believe there must be some loopholes in her testimony. Oh, then you can give it a try. The witness is right here in the courtroom waiting for you. Let's cheer up and continue questioning.
Hold it!
Why did you conceal your work from the Ghost Hunter streamer? Have you forgotten? This trip was an official inspection. If my boss found out I was secretly doing side jobs, he would see me as stealing from the company for personal gain. Oh, that makes sense. What if I got docked pay or fined or even worse, fired? Okay, now I understand.
Hold it!
First, why did he write during the live stream? If I remember correctly, it's because he was so scared. The audience persuaded him to write a paper to ward off the evil spirits. Did it really work? Obviously not. He wouldn't have been trembled right after writing it and ended up dead. So why did he suddenly tumble? I didn't know. I didn't see it clearly. It might have been the clutter furniture and dimmed environment that caused him to trip, especially if he wasn't paying attention. The victim was writing while he was walking around dimly lit room. It was possible for him to tumble.
Hold it!
Recording this point, the evidence submitted by the police just now indeed confirms your testimony. Of course, I had no reason to lie. If I just spoke what I saw. Since you're the one on the witness stand, I have to accept it. You have to accept our questioning as to test the truthfulness of your testimony. All right, I'll cooperate with you.
Hold it!
Yeah, I just wanted to press the other statements. Chief is right. This testimony is supported by evidence. Simply questioning it won't break through. Whoops. But I just can't accept it. If I stop questioning Bamboo Deer right now, what else can I do? Should I request to question other people? No, it won't work. The omission, no need for further discussion. Should I request the police for a thorough search of the scene again? But without a clear direction of the search, the request will surely be rejected. It seems the defense has nothing to say, right? If it's so, I'll seize the opportunity to defeat you, Miss Ray, and get ready for it. Prosecutor Hush, what are you up to? For some reason, Prosecutor Hush suddenly has the interest to debate. Let's call it confrontation in court. Confrontation between me and him? I'm clearly at a disadvantage now. Does he really need to launch another attack? Well, despite his age, he's still acting like a young man in this times like this. Court confrontations are a tradition passed down from previous generations. It's a verbal battle between lawyers and prosecutors. Listen carefully. Next, Prosecutor Hush will likely present several logical arguments to challenge you. But even the best laid plans can go awry. You must find loopholes in his argument to refute. Even though refuting doesn't require to support evidence, it's better to check for evidence before you start. If you choose an argument you can't refute, you immediately suffer a blow to your momentum. Besides, if you do nothing and simply let the other side speak, your momentum will also diminish. We're already at a disadvantage. If our momentum is depleted, the judge might immediately verdict. In a confrontation, you won't have time to review arguments and extract the exhibit. You must seize the right moment. Seizing is believing. The inevitable confrontation in court. Good luck, Luna. Okay, I understand. So the idea of one-on-one confrontation is a bit worrying. I think I'll give it a try. After all, my opponent is just this old man. Before the confrontation, I maybe should review the exhibit. Nah, we don't need to. Since you have nothing more to say, I'll now give...
要是不服气，
好，您的挑战，我接受了。
到目前为止，你没有证据可以表明镜头中的不是死者本人。视频里有着死者被被告推下的画面，而这位证人，他行踪明确。
Objection！ 证人只留下了一个离开的。
The witness only proves her departure time, but we don't know what she did during the other period.
在这种情况下
In this situation, it's impossible to prove that she didn't have the opportunity to commit the crime.
Objection.
The DNA tests have already proven that the blood in the scene belongs to the victim. It doesn't indicate that Miss Deer was not involved in the case.
Objection. 我们申请让警方
If we requested the police to investigate the
原本的
scene,
目的是确认马斯之
our original purpose was to confirm whether Bandu Deer left any traces.
警方发回调查
But then the police sent back the investigation
案
results.
件的可能性
They did not rule out the possibility that our involvement in the case.
在这种情况
In
下
that case, we cannot accept your claim that she excluded from the possibility of being involved in the case.
这
It sounds a bit reasonable.
也有一些道理。
Nice. I refuted Prosecutor Hutch, and I feel my momentum is back. No, wait. I know, young lady, your argument still doesn't make sense.
小姑娘，你的主张还是站不住脚。
I didn't expect the second round. I need to check the expletive, and I better do it now.
无论证人
No matter
做
what the
过
witness
什么
did.
16点54分的视频，
The video at 555 did not, the DNA test proved.
难道你
What are
想
you
主张
suggesting that?
那老夫
If so, I'd rather there's 3 problems in the
检测
DNA.
有疏漏。小
There.
姑娘，
Young lady,
差不多
just
就
admit
认
your
输吧
failure.
Objection.
No, I don't give up so easily.
Objection. 在法
In
庭
court,
上
just freezing up as giving up verbally.
审判长可不会
It
判
won't
你
make
胜
you
诉
win.
我
It was just making a statement. I won't lose.
你这个太
You're
漂
even
亮
stuttering now more than I do.
台阶吧。
因为我
Because I don't actually have much confidence? Because I actually don't have much confidence? This is a courtroom, not a kindergarten. Why am I using such childish arguments? I better be careful. Really.
无论证人做过什么，难道你想主张？那老夫宁愿怀疑。小姑娘，差不多就认输吧，输给老夫不丢人。无论证人做过什么，16点54分的视频和 DNA 检测都能证明。
Objection. 我不是正在主
I'm claiming that the victim was dead by then.
死了
If Shirley Cameron in the video was impersonated by the witness,
Objection. 无论是
and neither the video nor the DNA
还
test
是 DNA 检测
would support your
都不
claim.
支持你的主张。
In court, we rely on
咱
evidence
们讲的
and
是
not
证据
voice.
不是谁的声音大谁就有理。无论证人做过什么，16点54，难道你想主张
Are you
证人在
suggesting
2
that the
分钟
witness?
内就能完成杀人、藏尸和逃跑吗？那老夫宁愿怀疑。小姑娘，差不多就认输吧，
Ugh.
输给老夫不丢人。无论证人，难道你想
Objection. 没错，
That's right, a full 2 minutes, 120 seconds.
奥运冠
An Olympic champion could run in nearly 1,500-meter races.
死者的死因是
If the victim died falling, it only takes 2 seconds to push someone off.
而逃跑的100米冲
A 100-meter dash to escape is just 10 seconds.
证人足足有
The witness had a full 108 seconds to hide the body.
嫁祸给
And frame.
Objection. 老夫是不
Did
是
I
听
mishear?
错了？你年纪
Why are
轻
you
轻
starting mumbling nonsense at such a young age?
都照你
According
这
to your
么说
calculation, it only takes 2 seconds for the victim to escape from the
你
murder.
只需要2秒，怎么就不争气了，死了呢？
But why did he die?
嗯
I withdraw my previous statement and please continue.
无论证人做过什么，16点54分的视频和 DNA 检测都能证明，当时死者还活着。
Wait,
不是正在主张，那个时候死者已经死了。
No.
视频里的小洛洛是证人假扮的。
Objection！ 无论是视频还是 DNA 检测，都不支持你的主张。法庭之上，咱们讲的是证据，不是谁的声音大谁就有理。无论证人做过什么，16点50，难道你想？那老夫宁愿怀疑警方的。
Objection！ 您这倒是提醒我。
You just reminded me of something.
警方的 DNA 检测
There might be some loopholes
在一些特定的状
in the
况下的确会有
police
所遗漏。
DNA test under certain conditions.
这就是为何我们
That's why
不停要求
we
警方
often
对
request
技术的帮助，
forensics assistance from the police in court.
因为在审理进行的
Because
过
during
程
the
中
trial,
我们会随时发现案件的全新
we
方
might
向。
discover a whole new direction in a case at any time.
Objection！
So you're suggesting there's something wrong with the police test results? Accusing the police of falsifying results is a serious charge. So you need a very solid evidence to back it up.
Objection！
Hey, thank you, Pressy Hush. I haven't thought of this possibility. Although it might be more of a shocking, it's definitely worth a try. No, you misunderstood me.
我所指的遗漏
What I meant by loopholes is not the result of the results of authenticity.
而是一些极
That
其
we might misinterpret the
对检测
results
结果有所误判。
due to omission of some extremely rare circumstances. I really don't
老夫
understand.
实在是听不懂了。辩护方，
Defense.
不如就请你直
Why
接
won't
解
you
答
enlighten us?
警方在
What
DNA 检测结果
what
中
exactly would be the
可能
loophole
存在的遗漏到底
in
是
the
什
police
么？
DNA test results? The police loophole is that although I don't have evidence for this yet, it's indeed a possibility that cannot be ignored.
That's it。在一些特定的
In
情况
some
下
specific
两
cases,
个人是可以
two
拥有
people can
完
have
全
the
一致的
completely
DNA
identical DNA. What?
什么？真的有这种
Is
事
that
吗？
really possible? Well, it does look like I didn't defeat you at a stroke.
拿下胜利啊！
Phew, I made it through. So that's what confrontation feels like. That music was awesome. Practice makes perfect. I learned some debate techniques from it, and I need to thank Prosecutor Huss for enlightening me. Wait, are you referring to that situation? Not long ago, there was a report in foreign news about a murder case committed by twins. I heard about it in a lecture. That was the world's first judicial case to use technology to distinguish between identical twins in a crime. It was studied as a special case by a police force around the world, ultimately promoting a development of forensic technology. So where the juris areas of our countries? As I judge, I attended the related lectures. But if you were using that as an example, does that mean? Yes, if the witness and the victim were actually identical twins, their DNA would be identical as well.
Objection!
Wait, although I don't understand technical things as well as young people, but these identical twins, as you mentioned, can they really have different sexes? Yes. Can't they? The principal identical twins for man is a single fertilization split into two embryos during development. All chromosomes in the two embryos are identical, including sex chromosomes. Although there have been indeed extremely rare cases of opposite-sex individuals in the medical practice such as cases, the female embryo usually doesn't develop completely, and she would be much shorter as the average person when grown up. So that's how it is. But the witness figure looks quite normal, even a bit taller than average girls. Defense, tell me what exactly is you claiming? If I want to claim the bamboo deer's DNA to match and camels, I must address the problem raised by Chief. This time, I must think over before answering. We defense believe that bamboo ear a classic case of the she was a he. I mean, Drag, baby. We don't condone. Okay, I was about to say we don't condone that, but that's not. We support our drags. After careful consideration, our side came to the conclusion, which may seem absurd, is that the possible to witness the bamboo deer is actually a man dressed as a woman. Uh-huh. Huh? Well, what? A man? That wouldn't be the first time I've seen it in court. Actually, it would be the other way around of a lady as a man. She was very bonita, by the way. Okay, it's a joke, Cat. Order. Miss Ray, are you serious about what you said? Yes, I know it sounds absurd, but it's the only reasonable possibility. In this case, has too many inconsistencies. In the first half of the trial, we have proven the crime scene was tampered with. The traces of the victim's body does not indicate that the experienced secondary fall after death. Moreover, there happens to be a blind spot in the video of the victim fall, which makes it more difficult to discern the truth. If the victim has already died earlier in the time, later it was the witness who disguised himself as the live stream. Everything would be explained. This does make sense. But it would be the witness who disguised as the streamer and fell during the live stream, and yet the scene of the crime is the victim's DNA. There's only one explanation I can think of: is the witness happens to be the victim's identical twin brother. Witness, what is your response? Well, Your Honor, I know it's impossible to detect a person's DNA in a courtroom, but verifying the gender of it is fairly easy. Witness, would you mind for the forensics expert to confirm your gender now? We can leave the remaining issues later.
Objection.
No, don't bother.
难道你打算强行拒绝？
Ah, yes, he was drag.
什么？
He wasn't drag. Order, witness. What? Somehow I had a feeling he would overthrow the wig. He would have thrown the wig directly at my face. Oh, come on. That only happens to very famous lawyers from big not indie games. Okay, I mean, did Tyrion get a wig thrown at his face? I mean, yeah, I know it's inspired by Ace Attorney, and it's a joke referencing when I'm forgetting his name. God, his name is so was it like Schlatt or something? He appears twice, and he throws his toupee at both Phoenix and Edgeworth. Your Honor, everyone, please look at the witness. He reveals a male appearance, which, although pale, is identical to the victim playing Camel. Indeed, witness, explain it, please. I admit it. After removing the makeup and his personality, it seems to be completely changed. I was the twin brother of the victim, Pine Camel. We are survivors of an explosion created many years ago, and we grew up together in an orphanage. When we were young, I was adopted by the Deers. That's why our family names are different. Although we didn't live together, we still kept in touch. That's all. Order. But witness, why did you conceal this information? Are you trying to deceive the court and hide your suspicion of murder? No, I didn't kill anyone. Before coming to court, I truthfully provided my personal information. Given my physical condition, I can't get a job at the park. I had no choice if I wanted to earn the money. I had to explain it to Mr. Prosecutor, and he agreed. Huh? Prosecutor, hush! You knew the witness's identity all along? Oh. I found the witness's file, and it seems like there was indeed something to it. Why did you say it earlier? I forgot. I'm new here, and there are too many files. I haven't finished reading them all yet. I'm really sorry. I'm also new! That's enough. Anyways, now that the witness' real identity has been revealed, our argument would be highly feasible. Witness, did you ever impersonate the victim and conduct the live stream at the scene? No, I didn't impersonate my brother. You might be a fool, a confused old man like me, but it's far from enough to convince the lawyer you're facing. I understand. Please allow me to testify again and reveal the truth of that day. Very well, the court will give you one last chance. Please make sure not to conceal anything this time. Okay. How did I didn't think it would be a man dressed as a woman. Yes, I'm the younger twin brother of Shifley Pan Camel, but that doesn't mean I impersonated him. The murder house only had one entrance on the second floor, and the key was always with him and never taken off when he died. My brother made an appointment with the novelist and gave her other key, which she had since then. If I had impersonated Shifley and conducted the live stream, I would have had to stay there until the novelist arrived. The novelist, despite wearing a mascot costume, confidently barged in, just like in the video. If I tried to get out, I would definitely run into her face to face, and she would have seen me. I'm sorry, I don't have a cloak of invisibility, and the novelist isn't blind, so your interface doesn't make sense. His tone is so weak and feeble. So this is his true face. Witness, is your usual appearance and way of speaking just an act for performing at the park? Yeah, that image was created to portray a disinactive influencer tour guide, actually. Hey, witness, your nose is bleeding. Are you okay? No worries. In fact, I have a weak and sickly constitution. If I didn't pretend, the park would probably wouldn't have hired me. It's quite tough to make a living. He mentioned before that he has to work multiple jobs. It seems he's truly struggling to make ends meet. Defendant. The witness mentioned you several times in his testimony just now. And what, at the time you were trapped at the crime scene, did you see the witness there? Are you asking me? No, I didn't see him at all. Not at all? Right, you were trapped in that mascot costume. Could it have been that costume blocked your vision? No, it didn't. Indeed, it was difficult to walk in that costume, but my vision was the same as when I was not wearing it. I tripped her purely because I stepped on something. Indeed, that outfit, as the witness said, follows this clear vision inside, but as walking in is a challenger. I quite struggle to see putting it on now. The structure of its leg is stiff, and you can only walk towards the front. You walk towards the front of the costume. Even one step back is impossible. You even tried it on? How dedicated you are. And once you put that thing on, you can't take it off by yourself. I had to really give my old wrist a hard time. Incredibly uncomfortable. Luna, this is likely to be the last testimony in today's trial. Are you prepared? I see. I will definitely expose the final flaw in the witness's testimony and clear Plum's name. Then the defense may proceed with questioning.
Hold it!
You mean you didn't have a key, so you definitely would have run into the defendant when leaving? Yeah. What he's making sense. You can clearly see it in the front of the mascot costume living in the video. Does it provide the defendant to enter the room for front? So that evidence.
Hold it!
This is the most reasonable interference based on the existing evidence. Your appearance and DNA are perfect for impersonating him. I have my doubts of your actions, but an interference is just an interference. I look like my brother, but this doesn't mean I impersonated him. You have admitted that you were present at the crime scene. You can't exclude the suspicion of impersonating him. Well, I've already explained that.
Hold it!
She would not have noticed you even if she did trapped in the mascot costume? I'm not sure, but just now she herself said the prosecutor proved it, didn't they? You guessed, the mascot costume has great visibility. You can pretend it doesn't exist. In other words, when wearing it, the defendant's field of vision is almost the same as when not wearing it. Both the visible field and blind spots are the same when not wearing it, right? Blind spots. Bamboo Deer was right. If he wanted to get out, he would definitely run into Plum in the mascot costume. The costume has a very good internal field of view, so Plum had no reason to not see him from the front. So why didn't you see him?
Hold it!
Why is Why are they so familiar with murder houses? Well, I was my brother's assistant. It's normal I knew things he knew. But on the day of the incident, it was both my first time and my brother's first time there. He arrived earlier and told me we could only enter from the second floor. If I was really familiar with it, he wouldn't. He looks so sad. It doesn't seem like an act. Wait. If this is his weak and what if his weak and feeble appearance is an act?
Hold it!
How do you know that the victim sent the key to the defendant? Well, of course, my brother told me himself. After he wrapped that key, I helped him send it. If the key was wrapped, it would be difficult to retain fingerprints. Another dead end. Then when was the key sent out? It was about 2 days before the incident. The main key was always with my brother, and the spare one was given to her. May I interrupt? The structure of that key should be based on the traditional mortie. His intention joined to from our country. It's impossible to duplicate it within a few days. Thus, as Officer Falcon said, there was only 2 keys. Do any of you have keys to duplicate? I learned it. I can do it for you. Why is he like a leaking balloon?
Hold it!
Is it because the door also needs a key from the inside? Yes, the key has always been with my brother, and the police should have checked it. The key is never taken off. If I was pretending to be my brother during the live stream, it means I've been inside the room all along. And the only time I could leave without a key would have been when the novelist entered through the door. Indeed, his thought was very clear. One more thing, why did you go through the trouble of sending a key to the defendant? It's quite strange. Couldn't you just open the door for her? Well, your previous interference was basically correct. It was for the live stream value. The live stream value directly determines the viewership and the earnings of the streamer. To pursue a shock value of a ghost hunt live stream, you need to create creepy atmosphere like dim lighting. Only the viewer. This way, the viewers can have immersive experience. If we stopped in the middle and go to open the door for someone, it would disrupt this experience. The viewers wouldn't buy it. But we couldn't keep up the others waiting outside, so we sent the key in advance for her to open the door herself. In the end, she was immediately trapped as long as she entered. The key didn't make much difference.
Hold it!
Aha!
Objection!
I guess we have to show her fucking drawing.
Objection!
Yeah, we have to show her fucking drawing. I found the flaw, but the conclusion is rather strange. It's okay. We had to present Larry's drawings multiple times in the Ace Attorney. It's a bit embarrassing to take it out, but I have no choice at the moment. Could it be that she anticipated the situation when she insisted on giving me this thing? Defense, why did you object but not speak? Everyone, please look at this item. What is this?
Objection!
Defense, why are you so also staring to mess around in the courtroom? So you were messing around before? I'm not messing around. The witness said if he was hiding in the room, the defendant would definitely see him upon entering. After wearing the costume, wouldn't obstruct it from the front view. But this is only true under normal circumstances. Well, what do you mean by that? Please look at this drawing. This abstract drawing is a selfie of the defendant, Plum Swift. Since her phone has been confiscated by the police, we can only use this drawing as an illustration. This selfie was taken when she arrived at the convenient entrance as she was sent to Chivalry Camel online. Although the style of this drawing is quite energetic, it contains an important piece of information. An important piece of information? I don't see it. Defense, why don't you point it out in the I understand. Let me point it out. If the defendant was the surrounding presumption grenier, she wouldn't edit something that didn't exist. Please check that mascot costume and confirm there's such a pattern on it. Oh, yes, I remember now. Indeed, there's such a pattern. I even just noticed it down on the back of the costume. This pentagram is actually quite cute. Wow, it's an elder sign. The Lord of the evil god looks cute because of the seal. This setting is quite complete. In that case, the defendant only drew something that was already on the costume itself, so there's no contradiction, right? No, this is a huge contradiction. That thing is the pentagram on the back of the costume proves something astonishing. The defendant wore the masculine costume backwards. That's why the pattern on the back appears in the plum's front facing selfie.
Objection!
Whether the pattern on the costume is correctly doesn't prove anything. After all, it's like subjective drawing. It's possible that the defendant misremembered the details and added them on her own. How can I verify she wrote it backwards?
Objection!
This drawing originates from the defendant's selfie. It can be verified as long as the police take out the phone of Plum Swift. Oh, I texted the police and they said they found it. There is a photo of Plum Swift sent to Elva Cavalry in the Squeaky Shack. How did you manage to do everything so quickly? There isn't much difference in the difference between the selfie and the drawing. Not much difference. The user who sent this picture via the private messages named Wizard Plum and real name verification shows the defendant. Couldn't you show you a better name choose a better name for yourself? And there's the sentence accompanies this photo. Cthulhu's draws is coming to devour everything. Ho ho! Isn't that kind of a crime warning? She's just kidding. Your Honor, my client couldn't have been at the crime scene. Pac-Man rules. But my client clearly is at the crime scene. But defense, I still don't get it. Even if the defendant wore the costume backwards, what difference does it make? It makes a huge difference. This fact will completely change the meaning of this evidence. The witness stated the defendant would have defended the evidence as written, but if police wore the costume backwards, the significance of this evidence will completely changes.
That's it.
Does it? No. Wait a second.
That's it.
Please watch this video. It clearly captures the defendant wearing the mascot costume. Yes, it does. Very interesting effort, but what does it prove? Please take a closer look in the footage from the front of the costume was clearly captured. It isn't normal to capture the front. Ah! Yes, you realize the truth of the matter shows. Indeed, that outfit, as the witness said, allows a clear vision inside, but walking in it is quite challenging. I struggle to put it on. The leg structure is very rigid, so it only moves forward towards the front of the costume and can't even take steps backwards. Once we put on this costume correctly, we can only move towards the direction of the costume is facing. Now imagine what would happen if this costume is worn backwards. The defendant could only move backwards. Exactly. Only in the way could the defendant move normally. Order, order. Prosecutor Hush has personally tried it on. Once this costume is put on, it cannot be taken off by oneself. Even if the defendant realized she wore it backwards, she wouldn't even switch it back before meeting the victim. It's unlikely instinct, but humans only have two eyes facing forward. Please look at this image. If the defendant entered the crime scene in a normal state, her field of view should have been like this. In that case, her vision would have been always directed forward. Anyone inside the house who tried to leave undoubtedly would be noticed by her. But however, if the defendant was in the state I just mentioned, only able to move backwards, then after opening the door, she had to turn her body and enter in this state. Oh, so that means that's right. From the moment the defendant entered the door and from the costume the front of the costume was an absolute blind spot. And on the platform with the void below, it's only natural for people to turn their vision downwards and confront the height. At this moment, the person hidden behind the house could easily evade her field of vision and leave. Let's recall the statement the witness since he entered the court. After swaying on the base for a few years, I've become light on my feet. Now I can walk without making any sound. Whether it's hen, cheese, clothing, opera costumes, or mascot costumes, I know them all very well. Free to ask. His footsteps were light, nearly silent while walking, and he's knowledgeable about various costumes. Both factors prove that the witness was able to leave the scene in the way that we mentioned before under the defendant's notes. Order. Witness, what do you think about the message raised by the defense? It sounds too absurd. What can I say? If I could really do it, I would have had to hide in advance and wait for the only chance to get out. The defendant's behavior was so peculiar. How could I possibly know in advance that she would wear her costume backwards? Under normal circumstances, it's indeed impossible to predict the defendant's outrageous behavior. But as I said earlier, the defendant was sent a picture to show a camel in advance. Given the fact that the defendant did enter the room backwards in the video, the argument of our side is now completely valid. Witness, how do you explain this?
Objection.
Hold on a sec, please, Miss Lawyer. You made a mistake, didn't you? You just said the defendant sent a selfie to whom? Why, of course? Yes, everyone knows that Shiver Camel is in the Squeaky Shack with my brother Pine Camel. Livestream platform accounts require real name verification, allowing the police to identify him as the account owner. Even if I got his phone, as you said, it pretended to be him, I still wouldn't be able to see the private messages. Please allow me to add something. This livestream platform has very strict privacy settings. To access the private messages, you need to enter the login password again. Huh? Isn't that very inconvenient? I was just behind the scene helper playing the role of ghost. How could I possibly have his password?
Objection.
But you were his brother. Maybe he told you the password before.
Objection.
If you claim that I know Silver Camel's password login, then prove it. I know, Miss Lawyer, you have your beliefs, but I also have mine. Without evidence, I will not acknowledge anything you say. Huh? How can I possibly find evidence to prove whether someone knows something or not? Chief. Order. So do you think it's possible to find such evidence? The evidence I have should have all been used. Even if there is some not used, they couldn't prove this matter. In fact, unless he entered the correct password in court, it's impossible to prove that he knows it. Should I try other questions to trap him or find another way to expose his flaw? This witness is very defensive against you right now. These tricks might not work. Perhaps you need to calm down and focus and carefully consider all of the details of the case. Maybe the key to the breakthrough has been right in front of you all along, but you haven't seen it. Calm down, Luna. Immerse yourself in all the information you already know and try to organize and scrutinize. Perhaps the truth you're seeking has already been laid out before you. To calm down and see the bigger picture. I'll give it a try. Due to this case, the witness significance changes in mind and identity. I have adjusted my reasoning multiple times. It's time to calm down and carefully re-examine everything that has happened since the trial began. With the testimony of Orca Falcon and Bamboo Deer and the evidence presented by Prosecutor Hutch, my current conclusion is the victim Prime Camel, also known as Sherwood Camel in the Squeaky Shack, was in partnership with his twin brother Bamboo Deer. On the day of the incident, Pam Camel streamed as usual, while Bamboo Deer was responsible for forging paranormal events. During the interruption of the live stream, a conflict may have occurred between the two, ultimately leading to Pam Camel's death. To fabricate the time of Pam Camel's death, Bamboo Deer disguised himself as his brother and continued the live. Guys, what if it's just simply that we're not talking to Bamboo Deer, we're actually talking to Pine Camel. At the moment, my client Plant Celeste arrives at the community where the incident took place. She took a photo of herself wearing the reverse mascot costume and walked backwards, which she sent to Shiver the Camel. Based on this, the Bamboo Deer deduced a way to escape by leaving the house by a moment Plum was entering backwards. After Plum pushed Camel's body as recorded in the video. Every step of my reasoning should be valid. But now I'm stuck at proving Bamboo's Deer could access the private messages of Shiver the Camel. Proving that somebody knows something is extremely difficult, and so my reasoning has reached a dead end. To think it over, I really had to cover every aspect of the case so far. Through the entire incident, there is any detail I have consistently overlooked. That's not so far-fetched. The house has become a murder house since a long time ago, and there's no really strange event in the past. They wouldn't have been with a direct connection to Pine Camel's case. Think it over. There must be. Right, because Plum's appearance and behavior was so bizarre that we naturally assumed that it was normal for her to trip. But in fact, we never discussed the reason why she tripped. Think about it. What was the main reason she tripped and got tangled in the railing? No, Bambi's main aim was to avoid Plum from leaving the scene. He wouldn't do this. He would do his best in hiding footsteps to leave and startle her. After all, Once Plum discovered him, there would be an inevitable connection between him and Pine Camel's body and the house. Think about it again. What was the main reason she tripped? Looking back carefully, I remember Plum mentioning that she tripped because she stepped on something. While reviewing the exhibit, I did see a rough-looking cardboard stuck to the mask resembling a small ghost. She had already had difficult walking, and she stepped on a cardboard with glue at the time. It would be indeed easy to trip on. Even then, so what does it imply? Think back carefully to all the words I've heard since the trial began. I'm so skilled in handicrafts. Outfits are made by me. It would be difficult for forensics to determine the victim fell once or twice. Oh, before entering the community, I even took a selfie in the mask costume and sent it to its account. These memories can be connected to the current situation are since the trial began, Bamboo repeatedly mentioned that he was very skilled in handicrafts and never wasted materials. This rough cardboard seems to be used as a ghost. It looks like a poorly made and clearly excessive glue on it. Bamboo Deer was supposed to create the atmosphere for Shirley Cameron, but why did he make such low-quality handcraft? This seems to contradict the information I have already known. Think it over. Why did Bamboo Deer, who is skilled in handicraft, leave such a shabby item at the scene? Wait a minute. If he's not responsible for the handicraft, then who was? The small ghost, in both terms, the art style and sufficiently dry glue could have been made by Plum. So, I see. Since the trial had begun, we had a huge misunderstanding about something, and there's only one explanation for all these anomalies. Think carefully. The truth about is about to come out. What we have misunderstood all along is... Okay. No. Wait, no. Was. Hold on, we need to find not. Conclusion. Bad Deer is Sherman Hamlin. It seems that since the beginning of the trial, we've been trapped in a fixed mindset. There's only one reason we failed to reach the correct conclusion from the start. Well, what? The premise on which we have been discussing the entire case is wrong. It seems you have come to an interesting conclusion. We assumed that Triple Camel in the spooking cabin was the victim, Pine Camel, so we saw Bamboo Deer as his live streaming assistant. But the truth is the opposite. The witness, the ghost hunter live stream is Triple Camel in the Goosey Shack was actually you, right? What? Order, order, order! Miss Ray, what tricks are you playing? Why have you come to such a conclusion? The victim's family's name is Camel, but the streamer's name is the Shiver Camel, so we naturally assumed that they were the same person. But upon consideration, the witness and the victim are twin brothers, and the witness's surname was changed after adoption. If Bamboo Deer is the streamer, it also makes sense, doesn't it? Due to the earlier misunderstanding, I believe that the witness was pretending to be Shiver Camel on camera. In reality, the witness didn't need to pretend because he is Shiver Camel himself. The only one who pretended to be the ghost is the victim, Pine Camel. Since the victim wasn't Shiver Camel ends, there's no need for anyone to disguise as him. This is the only explanation for the rough handicraft that was tripped up by client. You couldn't stay at the scene too long, and most of your time had been spent on the live stream. So you had to leave as the logistical work to your brother, who may not be as skilled in handicraft as you, but had the time. Order, order, order. If the witness Bamboo Deer is indeed the streamer himself, he could check the private messages sent to Shiver Camel anytime because the defendant's selfies was actually sent to him. So witness, what is the defense saying is true? Interesting, but it's not true. It was my brother who registered this account. You can check it in the back end. Since he has always been your supporter behind the scenes, it's not surprising that he did the registration. But you still can't prove who actually was in charge of the account. And the rough handicraft was just a mistake on my part, and anyone can make mistakes. Besides that, I won't say another word. How could you? Shiver Camel has injured his leg during the live stream before. I just need to examine your leg in court and... Useless. I often fall and get injured while performing wobbly dolls and Chinese closing. My legs are full of scars. Your conclusion may be impressive, but it's difficult to verify. After all, twins have identical appearances and genes. If there are subtle differences, it would be challenging to discover them in court. And what about fingerprints? Are fingerprints identical twins also the same? Fingerprints indeed develop after birth, so their fingerprints should be different. However, both Pine Camel and Bamboo Deer spent a long time at the scene, so their fingerprints could be found everywhere. Besides, the witness has likely cleaned up the scene. It's hard to determine the live streamer's identity based solely on fingerprints. Why? My interference is only one step away from the truth. Oops, I shouldn't have said that now. Even if Chief is at a loss. Is there really no evidence that can clearly identify Shiver Camel? Unfortunately, the court cannot accept a baseless claim. Defense, if you have no further questions, I will dismiss the witness. If the question is terminated here, this guy will escape justice. Hush? Hush? Huh? You're still there? I've been listening all along. What a splendid argument, Miss Ray. Since that case, I had to present another piece of evidence. What else do you have? I kept everything in court that could be relevant to this case. It's just so much that's disorganized that I haven't been able to sort it out yet. What do you think of this piece of evidence, Miss Ray? Huh? This is... Huh? What's this? A handwritten postcard? To Miss Corden. A peculiar addressee, and there's no signature on the postcard. Prosecutor Hush, I can't see any connections between the postcard and the case. Did you pick them up wrong? Don't rush, I haven't figured out its relationship to the case either. But this postcard was dropped by the sender after they had written it to the delivery station. And this surveillance camera at the delivery station clearly captures the face of a person writing the postcard. Isn't that person the victim in this case, Pine Camel? The person in this footage could also be Bamboo Deer. I need to look closely to distinguish. What exactly can in this photo in this postcard prove? Alright, I presented evidence I have, but there won't be any new evidence from the scene. If you really use one piece of evidence, you have to give me an answer and once and for all. Long enough, defense court, and you have the chance to present evidence. This is really merciless. I think... I know the whole truth and has was postcard. I just need to present one more piece of evidence to prove all my deductions. The evidence that can be linked to everything is... Wait, hold on. That's the day of the incident.
That's it.
Is that what you want me to... Okay, so I have to post the...
That's it.
Whoops. Game? 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 Fuck. I think I hit the wrong load save. Oh.
That's it.
Are we sure it's not
That's
this?
it. That's it.
The screenshots from the live video? Yes, please allow me to explain. First, please take a look at this photo taken at the delivery station. This time shows surveillance is 3... 5, if I remember correctly, previously they mentioned that the police arrived at the scene and discovered the body at 5:15 p.m., which is consistent with the officer report. This means 10 minutes later at 5:25, Prime Cancel should have already been dead. Therefore, the male figure in this footage can only be the witness Bamboo Deer, who looks almost identical to him. A very reasonable interview. And then, next up, we just learned this postcard was handwritten by the sender at the delivery station. Let's put that aside for now. The content of the report card might be. I believe we have little relevance to this case. What more importantly here is we have obtained material written by Bamboo Deer himself. Please take a look at this screenshot. Trevor Campbell fell down during the live stream, and they recalled because they're walking and running at the same time in front of the camera. In other words, we can prove that the material in the footage was written by Trevor Campbell in the Spooky Shack. Your Honor, we may request immediate analysis of these two handwritings to be determine if they belong to the same person. What? Witness, if these two handwritings match, there's only two possible conclusions. First, Trevor Campbell is still your brother Prime Campbell, but in this video, you disguise yourself as him to continue streaming. Second, Trevor Campbell's true identity is you, giving you ample opportunity to obtain information about the defendant. Regardless of this which possibility, you can no longer deny your involvement in this case. Order. How could this happen? I can't. No, I can't give up yet. Even if you say so. Even if things become uglier, I must fulfill my brother's final will. What? Hush. Witness, listen. I will only say this once. Thanks to the efforts of this lawyer, your disguise as the crime scene in the courtroom has been exposed one by one. You still want to deny it? That's fine. Although the evidence changed just now can't prove that you are the murderer. It maximizes the reconstruction of the case. And the police will reinvestigate everything and discover the true cause of Pam Campbell's death. Is it really meaningful you to continue denying? Is that so? It seems I lost the fight. Prosecutor, hush! You just... I'm sorry, I just wanted to show off, oh. You serious, sir? Oh, come on! I thought even I was so overwhelmed by his momentum. This is showing off really amazing. Mr. Hush, Miss Ray, Your Honor, I, Bamboo Deer, want to confess in court that I... Do I still have that right? Finally! You are recognized as a witness of the court, so of course you still have the right to speak. Please continue. Thank you. The account Shivery Camel and the Spooky Shackles has been jointly operated by my brother and me, but the person appearing in front of the camera was me. As expected, Shivery Camel has always been him. The account name was chosen by my brother, despite my adoption and surname change. I've always been a camel in his heart. On August 8th, we arrived at to a Mere Day mansion as planned to conduct this live stream. One of the parts involved of the white claws falling in the process, but my brother didn't paste it securely, so it almost goofed. At the moment, to ensure the effects, my brother climbed up to the beam in the murder house, and he accidentally fell, and the table was right below him. What? So he died accidentally? Order. Witness, if what you're saying is true, then isn't that this isn't even a murder case. Why are you hiding so many facts? We find it hard to understand too. Your action must have caused my client, Plum Swift, to suffer an unjust accusation involving an innocent novelist. Was not my intention. I feel deeply sorry. But my brother's death was due to his own reckless action. It wouldn't needed to meet the conditions for receiving insurance payout. What? He told me this in his final moments. My head, it looks like I messed up. Pine, how could this happen? I'll call an ambulance right away. No, I can feel I probably won't make it this time. Bamboo, it's okay. This expense insurance before the beneficiary is you. The compensation should be quite a lot. Don't say that now. Without you, I don't want any money. Hold on, I'm calling an ambulance. No. Pine, don't be silly. Hello, I need an ambulance. I'm in... Pine, what are you doing? It's okay. Don't save me. We have to spend more money. We'll have to spend more money. Remember your illness. With the money, your illness can be cured. Remember, you must stay alive by any means necessary. Otherwise, everything I've done will be in vain. Pine! My brother and I were originally twin brothers in an ordinary family. Many years ago, our parents were involved in an attack carried out by a terrorist named Cerberus and died. Cerberus? Sounds familiar. Chief, have you heard of this person? This should be unrelated to the case. Let him continue. We became orphans overnight and lived in an orphanage. My brother was an introvert, not good with words, while I appeared lively, so I was assumed adopted by the Deers. Although our paths changed, we still often met, and our bond never changed. But at that time, I was diagnosed with a blood disease. I couldn't understand what disease it was and couldn't remember its name, so I just knew it required a lot of money. My foster parents were not the highest earners, and I originally had no blood relationship with them. Since I already reached my adulthood, they just gave me a small amount of money of living expense and completely abandoned me. What? Why? If I couldn't be treated on time, I wouldn't have much time left. I didn't want to burden my brother, so I started working desperately to earn money, taking on any jobs I could get. But my brother thought it was too hard and suggested finding easier jobs with less physical labor and quick money. Is this the reason you choose to become a ghost hunt live streamer? Yes, indeed. It's a job of giving the audience what they want to see. Yes, it's just like magic. Everyone knows it's fake, but they just want to see the performance. So he registered Chevron Cameline Spooky Shack. My brother said in his heart I would always be his little brother, and our surname Camel is the best proof of our blood connection. Since then, I started being a streamer. We wanted to create a certain persona of someone timid and fearful, prone to attack paranormal incidents, and my brother took on all the physical labor himself. He portrayed ghosts in front of the camera, creating strange noises, phenomenon, and if real phenomenon events were happening. Then he used his online information to plan live streams, create effects, and edit content, even devise promotional gimmicks. He did it very well, and our count follower gradually increased. But because of the name Chevrolet Camel, everyone assumed that it was one streaming with my brother. I think it was the fame that my brother deserved, and I didn't mind it. But until now, we were just the small streamers climbing up the ranks, and every month we had to pay a lot just for maintenance costs. My brother gave all the income to me, but we're still far from the cost of treatment. Indeed, as far as I know, there's rare diseases that are not covered by health insurance, and the treatment options are limited and extremely expensive. You have one of those, right? Yes. Until yesterday, my brother arranged to meet with the best-selling novelist, the defendant. He wanted to promote his account by collaborating with a novelist who happened to be an interest in collecting material. Unexpectedly, that's when it happened. I had made a promise to my brother, but my brother wasn't very educated. He might have not realized that the insurance he bought was not suitable for our situation. Its exclusion cost, which one is no compensation shall be paid when insured takes the initiative to take risk. And my brother did take the initiative to walk up the beam and lead to his accidental death. I had the stage of the scene as if he has been murdered. I can't understand your various helplessness for the sake of survival, but I can't forgive you for framing others for the crime. No, at the time I just wanted to fabricate a murder scene. After all, it's a murder house where 2 people already died. As long as I moved my brother's body upstairs and set it up as an unsolvable case, even the people from the insurance company came there wouldn't say there's no way to trace it back. I never thought of framing the novelist. After all, if I hesitated too long, my brother would have died in vain. But your behavior. There's another important reason for which I did all of this. My brother was not sociable since childhood. He had no other friends or relatives besides me. If he just died like this, no one would remember him besides me. So you thought of making him die as the streamer Chevrolet Camera during the live streams? Yes, if his death during the exploring the murder house could be seen as his final curtain call as a ghost hunt streamer, at least our audience would be shocked and feel regretful. He would be remembered forever, right? You went so far in just pursuing the value of live streaming. This is very difficult to approve. But I didn't expect that you would send me a selfie at that time, and it can't come over so quickly. At that time, I just had to finish disguising the body and had started the live stream. It would be terrible if she found out. However, that costume the novelist was wearing is a work of mine when I took custom orders online. I know it's flawed, but I also noticed she wore it backwards. At that time, I felt an opportunity of fate, so I took advantage of her entering the house to escape by using the blind spot. I never thought that she would accidentally push my brother's body down again. I'm the one who made her the defendant. I'm sorry. Whoa! Plum is on the verge of withering. I can't believe you still laugh about it. I see your confession. It sounds reasonable, but do you have any evidence to prove your claims? Well, as for evidence, there is indeed a sick beam on the roof that's the house, which the police didn't expect to be relevant to the case. But I immediately texted the police to investigate it upon hearing the testimony. Just now, the police have sent me the results. Again, that's too fast. For the witness's live stream, this room has been unoccupied for a long time and accumulated very heavy level of dust. There are many traces left on it. The investigation results from the police can basically corroborate the witness's confession. Indeed, whether there is one person or 2 of them on the beam, there was an accidental fall or a deliberate push. They can be easily verified as long as there are traces. However, the witness, even if you have committed murder, you fabricated the scene and provided false testimony to obtain the insurance money. I cannot turn a blind eye to these crimes. Your own trial may not be far off from this one. Prepare for it. Yes, this is the punishment I deserve. I have no objections. The witness fabricating evidence and providing false testimony indeed meets the criteria for the prosecution. Fabricating evidence and perjury and attempted insurance fraud. With these three charges combined, serving prison time is unavoidable. Moreover, if you thoroughly understand the details of insurance from the beginning, whether it's the tragedy of Prime Camel or your illness, they could have solved it in a better way. That's probably deserves the result. After all, the law is the law. No matter how difficult the situation is, emotion cannot prevail over the law. Wait, but if that's the case, then what about the witness's illness? Well, if the medical assessment required before the imprisonment, fine, you could still be granted medical parole. Ah, yes, indeed. This is probably the best end for him. Well then, let me summarize today's trial. Mr. A, at the first time appearance in court, you not only defended the interests of your client, but also uncovered the truth of a case of a court, which I must say, quite splendid performance. Is that so? Thank you for the praise, Your Honor. Now it's time for the verdict in today's case. Wait, something seems off. On the surface, I defended the interests of my client and led the case to the best outcome. But since the trial began, I'm really the one guiding the direction of this courtroom. Sorry to interrupt. I sent a text message to have the police searched. Can we... Is this old man really just a rookie who just got his qualification a month ago and just keeps getting confused? I announced the defendant, Plum Swift, is... Yay, not guilty! Phew, prosecutor Hush, former chief prosecutor. I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Huh? Former chief prosecutor? He startled me as soon as he entered the courtroom, claiming to just qualified. What kind of play is this? I just take it as Master Hush suspiciously playing a charade to test a newcomer in our office. Huh? Master? It seems this new has passed the test. Oh, yes, indeed. I had high hopes for it, which is why I agreed to this prosecutor's the prosecutor request to rehire me and come back to specially. Rehire? What are you talking about? Well, let me formally introduce him. Prosecutor Oscar Harsh is a senior figure in our country's judicial circle, a pioneer of the modern court. He's my teacher's teacher. He's also popularized the courtroom confrontation to uncover the truth through debate between two sides. In terms of seniority, I think you might have to call him Great Master. Great Master? So you're here to play dumb and test me? Just got the qualification half a month ago. That means you've been rehired for half a month. You're not a rookie. You've been twisted quite a bit. But you have been quite well in this case, didn't you? Oops, suddenly feel a lot of pressure. In my twilight years, there are still many old cases requiring capable young individuals to handle. This time I, together with Charlie and the judge, concealed my identity just to ease the pressure on you in the trial. That only made me more stressed. All right. Thank you for your care this time. My pleasure. This time I just happened to take the case involving the suspect with a not-so-serious crime, but a complex storyline. Perhaps someday in the future we might meet again. But before that day, you should work on improving yourself and become more reliable. I will! Indeed, this great master has spent majority of the time slacking off during the trial. But the fact that the case ended up like this largely is due to this subtle guidance behind the scenes. Now I may not yet be qualified to see what he looks like when he's working seriously. Well then, the judgment has been rendered and there's no need to continue this trial. I declare this trial case closed. That went so long. August 9th, 12:21, defendant lobby. Hurry up! Phew, I never thought I made it through my first court as a lawyer involving so many twists and turns. I'm exhausted. Huh? Where's Chief? Oh, Luna, you're so capable! Thanks for the compliment, although it seems like you're the one who made it through George trial so tough. Since the outcome is good, I wouldn't say anything about it. Wow, don't take it so seriously. In the whole event, I was just a hapless bystander. Decisions made. I'll get back in going and to incorporate Luna's heroic figure into my next novel, A Genius Prosecutor. Huh? Really? Of course, as the nemesis of the protagonist's destiny, an evil and scrumptious lawyer. Wait, why am I the villain? And as the twins, I never thought they would be such a tragic and torturous life. It's just too heartbreaking. I really want to write a nonfiction novel about them now. Pine Camel and Bambi Camel, who supported only to be cruel. I feel like these sentences are so pale and completely uncredited to their conveyor bonds. But wow, there's so many reporters outside covering this case. Even if he can't get insurance money, he should receive attention from society and receive large amounts of donations. Wait a minute, Plum, your remarks just now contradict the profile I just have. Wow, the trial's already ended. Why are you still trying to find contradictions? Because I want to confirm something with the profile that contradicts the remarks is...
That's it.
From what I know, the former name of Bamboo Deer was never exposed after the conclusion of this case. But you just called him Bambi Camel, didn't you? Wow, it was just slipped out the tongue. This name has never been mentioned in court. How could you mistakenly call him that if you didn't know? This can only mean one thing. You must have investigated the two brothers in advance, right? Well, what are you talking about? If you knew the truth of the relationship between the two brothers and the real identity of Shirley Cameron from the beginning, with your intelligence as the best-selling detective knowledge, you must have deduced the truth of the crime scene, right? And that costume. You said it cost a lot, but isn't it too coincidental that you didn't happen to buy it from Bamboo Deer's store? Were you intending to help them from the beginning? Whoa, that's a nice day today. In that case, you should immediately point out to go to the police in the right direction, and you wouldn't have been a suspect. If your goal was to help the brothers, you had to become the defendant in this case. But because of this way, you involved yourself and it draws the attention of the entire society. Those reporters outside were brought by you, after all. Bamboo Deer had two goals: to raise funds for his treatment and to have his brother remembered by the public. This way, both of his goals would be achieved under the public's attention. Plum, am I right? Wait, if she can find information about the two brothers, she also must be able to find information about Master Hush. Because that she had anticipated that I absolutely trusted her, and Prosecutor Hush is who completely patient. Could this come to a current conclusion? Well, Luna, it's the story you told which really moved me. That's what I exactly was feeling. I was used as material and right into my next story. Whew, inspiration is flowing in. Well, I just gotta take one step first. Hey, Plum! Plum still looks like an unreliable person. Those things were just facts or my imagination. Phew, everything knowing from her for so many years. I can't figure her out. Huh? Chief, you're finally back. Sorry for the wait. I just needed to confirm something. Luna, congratulations on your success at the debut in court. What's the term? Rise from the ashes? That term is not used that way. Thank you, Chief. I didn't expect so many twists and turns in this case, although it would have been simple. Despite the twists and turns, you had many highlights, especially for your final argument. That was very impressive. Is that so? Being praised by Chief. But I have a subtle feeling this case is probably far from as simple as it seems. I feel the same. There's still some intriguing mysteries yet to be unraveled. It's the Sunset postcard, right? There's many things on it that we still don't understand. Who did Bamboo Deer have a request from? And what was the thing Ymir did mention on the day of the incident? Also, where's the destination to the postcard and then the postcard? Postcards ending in the capital letters often linked to classified organizations. It's hard to access through regular means. Let's leave these matters to Master Hush for now. Is he going to personally handle it even at this stage? Being a prosecutor seems really tough. That's just his style. Anyways, we finally won the case. What would you like to do, Luna? As a reward for your first victory, as a newcomer at the office, I'll treat you to something. Really? Then I want to go for a hair spa! A hair spa? Yes, let's go! I haven't done a spa for almost a month. My hair feels so dry and it's so annoying. Well, I guess I can skip that. Well, that's it for my debut as a new lawyer. They say experience makes perfect, but this is already my second time in court. even more nervous? But fortunately, I achieved a victory today. But honestly, I'm quite happy. But of course, I can't be complacent about this level of achievement. After all, the victory is not achieved by me alone. Chief and Prosecutor Hush played a crucial roles. Even unseemingly unreliable Plum may have contributed to the perfect outcome of the case. And more importantly, that disastrous case from 5 years ago was a turning point in my life. I chose to become a lawyer because of it. It was that mission must be fulfilled. One day, I will figure out all the truth. Chapter 1 end. Whew! Back to title. And close out the game. Because, oh boy, is it way past my bedtime. Thank you all for joining tonight. Honestly, if I knew it was going to go that long, I would have stopped at some point. But at this point, I was like, I gotta figure it out. I was gonna make lunch for the next day, but I don't want to stay up past 10. But again, like I said, thank you all for joining. I will be back tomorrow for the start of Pokemon Too Many Types. Again, I would just like to put in the giveaway info for everyone to join. After stream, I will be putting in all the entries for tonight. You can come back, and if you don't enter tonight, you can always come back tomorrow or Thursday or Saturday or literally anytime I'm live to just pop in, get your ticket in. This giveaway is mostly to appreciate my community, and this is to really relevate to people who come to my streams. Those who come to my streams are more likely to. The more you come to my stream, the more entries you get, and the more entries you get, the more likely you are to win. So, with that being said, let me see if I can find anyone in whom I can raid. Real quick. Let's see who's live. I think I saw Yun was live, so I don't know if he's still live. He is. So, yeah, let's go raid Yun, who is playing Planet Crafter. And I'll see you guys, like I said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for our Too Many Types. Goodbye.